Hello, everyone. Welcome to Indie Game Club. We appreciate you being with us, whether you're watching on
Hello,
Facebook,
everyone.
YouTube, or Twitch. We appreciate you spending your time here with us. As you can see, we are joined this week again by another amazing panel. Guest, can you wave to the camera for everybody, please? These amazing people are here to discuss indie games, and I am super excited about it. My name is Michael Zytkow, aka your grandma's favorite streamer. I'm trying this new persona. Let's see if that works out. I don't know. We'll try it out. Amar seems to cringe at the fact. But I am the founder and executive director of Potions and Pixels nonprofit. We are a nonprofit organization based out of beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, where we are broadcasting from now. Definitely check out our website if you want to check out all the work we do outside of all these fun streams. We do a lot of youth education programs, workforce development projects, game development, community engagement. You name it, if it involves games, we are involved in it. So we are excited to have you here. Before we get to this awesome conversation, I am first going to go over, as I typically do, some of the events we've done in the past and some of the ones we are doing here in the future. So, of course, you all are here today with us for Indie Game Club. If you are not familiar with Indie Game Club, we kind of call it like a book club, except for indie games. So on Mondays, we stream ourselves playing the games. On Thursdays, we discuss, such as today. So we're super excited about that. On Tuesdays, we hold our community conversations. These are archived on YouTube and Facebook. We invite you to check those out if you weren't able to participate the first time around. We started those community conversations with Black Voices in Gaming back in August. It feels like a while ago. I can't believe it was only last month, but we've been doing like 8 or 10 events a week, so it feels like such a long time ago, to be honest. The second week, we did Women in Gaming with the wonderful folks at the Athena Alliance, two of whose members are with us today, so we are super excited about that. We followed that up with Custom Game Controllers, where we explored the art, technology, and people behind custom game controllers and modding. As you see, Lowe's has been our key sponsor for all of these. We really appreciate them. They believe in these types of conversations, and we know you do too, so we appreciate them. This conversation was also sponsored by our friends at Red Bull, who threw in an arcade stick to one lucky winner, so we were really happy to see that. Games to the Rescue was our conversation where we explored how games are being used to fight against coronavirus. So outside of social distancing and wearing your mask, you can also play games like Eterna and Fold It that will potentially have real-world results. So check that out for sure. Black Voices in Gaming was our conversation exploring esports and specifically Black Voices in esports. So we appreciate our guests here. It was a conversation that me and these gentlemen have been having for quite some time, and so we're glad we got to get that on the record. Then yesterday, if you joined us, we had LGBT Voices in Gaming Part 1 with our friends at the Athena Alliance, Charlotte Gamers Network, and PvP Hub Charlotte. This was a great opportunity for us to explore LGBT plus representation in the game industry and also spend the second half of the conversation discussing Tell Me Why. If you're not familiar with Tell Me Why, it is the first game, we should say, from a major studio and major publisher to feature a transgender protagonist. So it's a really phenomenal game. Encourage you to play it and check it out and join us for the discussion, because next week, this coming Tuesday, we will have the second part of this discussion where we will be discussing specifically chapters 2 and 3. Chapters 2 and 3 are the concluding chapters of the game. It's only 3 chapters. Each chapter is around 3 or so hours long. So make sure to check that out and join us for that. We have plenty of events to announce in October. This one I know a lot of you have been waiting for, Hispanic Voices in Gaming with Julio E. Nazario, who is a game designer based out of here in North Carolina. He is he's doing amazing in the game industry right now. He's producing so many games left and right. Really looking forward to talking to him about them, including the game you see in the background, Control, which is spelled CTRL. You can buy it at Target today. Check it out for sure. Outside of talking about games, we love playing them as well, so please join our Discord and check out our game nights where we play board games and video games on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We have a great time. It's a really welcoming community. Hope you will check us out for sure. Our Smash and Learn sessions are on Wednesdays. It's a great opportunity to learn different Smash techniques about different levels, different characters, all that good stuff, and just level up your Smash skills overall. We have our King of the Ring sessions on Friday. We've been switching it up. Sensei Wintersoul has been switching it up lately, so we've been doing Queen of the Ring again with our friends at the Athena Alliance. You can see we love collaborating with them any opportunity we get. And this Friday is Team of the Ring, so make sure to check that out for sure. We recently had our gold tournament. As you can see here, we've definitely congratulated these folks, Frisk, Banana Bay, and Pancakes, and all the participants. Speaking of Athena Alliance, thanks so much for hosting the stream. Thank you, Faulty Coat Gamer, Michael Washington for following, Isaac Sturgill for following. Thank you so much. We have 2 upcoming tournaments here. We have a bronze level tournament and our silver level tournament. And the reason why we do ranks is to make sure that you are playing against people of a similar rank. That we want to avoid the whole thing where you go to a tournament, you're new to the game, and you immediately lose to like the best player in the state or the region. So our whole idea here was to give you an opportunity to play against people of a different skill level. And with that, that is our primary events, folks. I'm going to take it back here to the full crew. And we are going to start our introductions after I read a couple comments right here. We see a couple folks saying, I Spy Spokey and Layla. Yes, they are indeed in the building. Spokey Squad representing here. Love it. And our man Evan here saying, my man got a hell of a light display in the background. Yeah, Evan, this was actually the Laser Girl display at MagFest, which I feel like we got to pour one for MagFest. If anybody's familiar with it, I feel like it's Amar, is it your favorite game convention as well? It's my favorite game convention. It is the one by far. Just for some. Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. Oh, I really. How much you want me to go into? Yeah.
Was that orange juice?
No, it was a hard tea that I poured on my pants right now.
Apple juice.
The things I do for the stream. All right, let's get this party started, y'all. We got some amazing games to check out today, but let's start off with our amazing guests. A lot of familiar faces and some new ones as well. So let's start off with the newest person to jump on our stream here. Brittany Jackson, aka Spokey Dokes. Spokey Dokes, can you please introduce yourself to the world, please?
Hello, world. Also, Potions and Pixels. I am not your hostess with the mostest today. I am the guestest with maybe the bestest opinions. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm a Facebook streamer. I stream twice a week, every Wednesday and Sunday, 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I am not in Charlotte. I think that would be 11 o'clock Charlotte time. Wednesdays, we talk current events while I play something mundane. And Sundays, I pick a game that I want to play and hang out with my chat. Usually it's an indie game. Lately, it's been Final Fantasy, but, you know. We'll switch it up.
Love it. I'm glad you solved the mystery for me because I'm used to Layla streaming at like the wildest times of day. There must be an achievement for that, like unpredictable streaming.
I'm hoping there is.
I have recently learned my time zones for that exact reason. I'm like, not everybody lives out here. I should probably figure out what the rest of the country is doing with their life.
Got it. No, I love it because I was watching you late night yesterday and I was like, that's commitment. But now it makes a bit more sense with the Mountain Standard Time. So as we do and is tradition on this show, everybody, wherever you're at, clap it up for Spokey Dokes, please. Clap it up. I need a clap track. I'm going to start doing that. I need to get that going. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it today.
I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. Seriously, really appreciate that. Next, we have series regular Angelic Layla, who is, can we say, not only does Layla, as you know, if you're a regular viewer of this, she always comes through clutch in the moments. If anything happens, she's there. This girl just moved and has been dealing with technical issues and everything, and she's still finding a way to jump on the stream. So, Layla, appreciate that so much. Definitely sending our love your way. And can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of Spokey's hearts, too.
Love it.
But I am Angelic Layla. You can catch me on Twitch with Angelic_Layla, Lela. I'm, like Mike said, I do stream at crazy hours, but I have been trying to stream at 9 p.m. Central Time every time I stream, which is Fridays after this episode, so that I can play all the indie games. I do indie games on Fridays. Saturdays I do a community day. And then Sundays I do anime afternoons, and then follow up with a ninja type game or fighting type game that night. And then on Mondays it's Battle Angel Mondays, which is Bam, where I play MMOs and mostly MMOs or RPGs. It depends. But you can catch me on Twitch at 9 p.m. on those days. And social media everywhere is Angelic Layla. So.
Love it so much. And yeah, like you said, on Fridays, you're going to be, those are going to be a dedicated slot for you to play the indie games of the upcoming week. So definitely check Layla out there. Let's clap it up for Angelic Layla. Please, everyone, clap it up.
Thank you.
Faulty Code Gamer is complimenting your hair. Loving it. She's saying it's on point. Scarlet Aeon is saying Layla and Spooky are amazing. Yo, Amar and Tony, why are we not getting that much love? I thought I had a cute little outfit. I had my grill on. I was about to bust out the glasses. I haven't heard like one thing yet. What's the deal, Athena Alliance? What's the deal? I gotta know, because I'm putting the glasses on right now. It's official. Things are about to get serious. All right. People are just going to be like, you're such a nerd. It's going to be so much trolling.
I was waiting for the glasses, so I'm glad they showed up.
Dude, it's now a tradition. What was that, Smokey?
I said it's spicy. It's too spicy. I can't.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, Mike, I will say that you look very lit right now.
Would you say I look lit, fam? I love it. Smokey, before we introduce Amar and Tony, sorry, gentlemen, what's your thoughts on the usage of the term lit? Like, is there like an age limit for it, or what's your general stance on this?
I don't mind it. I get made fun of for using it though, so I'm not. I mean, I guess if this is a safe space, I'll try to like throw it in there at some point. But my co-hosts often look down on me for saying things like "no cap" or "it's litty." So I don't mind it though. I think they're fun.
This is the space for that. This is the space for that. We embrace it all here at Indie Game Club. Amar, can you please, I should, and again, Amar, Tony, this is family right here. Series regulars right here. Almost going to be on a regular basis. I know Amar might be here in and out a couple times, but Tony's going to be pretty much on a regular weekly schedule here. So we want to thank you both. Amar, can you introduce yourself to the world?
I'm trying to sneak in the word lit into my introduction, but it's failing. Hey, I'm a software developer. My name is Amar. I go by Amarika. I'm a software developer here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Big fan of Potions and Pixels. Enjoy playing indie games. And yeah, you can find me. I stream sometimes on Amarika on Twitch. And I have a really bad itch.io site if you want to see the bad games that I made. So if you want to try some of the prototypes that I have, if you're a developer and I'm talking trash about your game, you can go in there and make fun of me as well. It's completely fair.
Not true. So, not true, my friend. If you have been to, if you remember the times before COVID, before the plague, we used to gather. It's hard to believe. We put together like 350 like in-person gaming events. I was counting like recently, maybe almost close to 400. And during that time, we got to have Amar showcase his game Crab Volleyball at an event we did. I think was it back in January or February at that brewery place?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it was like the game of the night. Like everybody loved it. Crabs playing volleyball, 4-player local multiplayer. Don't listen to this man. He's got a good game.
It's a lot of fun. Crabvolleyball.com if you want to follow me on Facebook. And it's I'm gonna start working on it again, and hopefully, you know, with things getting better with COVID, hopefully one day you guys will see it again. So, and yeah,
for sure.
That'll be it.
Thank you, my friend. Let's clap it up for Amar. Clap it up. Tony, last but not least, tell us all that beautiful information about you, my friend.
Hey guys, it's Tony Tyga 90. Tony Tyga, TYGA 90. That's my gamer tag pretty much everywhere. I don't necessarily stream. I'm a banking consultant at day and a gamer at night, a nerd gamer extraordinaire. Love jumping on the Discord and just talking industry news and just having fun.
Love it. Thank you so much, Tony. Always bringing in your A game. You and Amar are battling for who's got the hottest takes each week, I guess. So I'm really looking forward to this. We got a couple more comments. Oh, and I got to clap it up. We got to clap it up for Tony. I don't know if I'm losing my mind. Let's clap it up for Tony Tiger right here. We got a couple comments in here. Faulty Code Gamer. Scarlett saying, well, you're handsome too. I love the glasses and the colors. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying a little something today. You look. I had to consult my children. I was like, "Am I doing the grill today or not?" You look super serious. We're just a little biased. Got to get ready for the rave. We do got to get ready for the rave. Too hot. Hot damn. I love it. I love it. Oh, here we go. I love it. Crab volleyball was so much fun. Love it. Thank you for that. Okay, so before we look at all the games, I'm going to quickly give a bit of a trailer for the 3 games that we are going to be looking at this week. And we're going to do something, a continuation of what we did last week, where we're going to discuss a couple current events. So on the show, first let's start off with the Indie Game Club Games of the Week. So here are the 3 for you. We've got Far From Noise, which will be the last game we discuss of the night. We will be talking about Switch and Shoot second. And then the game we are going to start first is, of course, what you see there, SEWER RAVE. So we are super excited about that. But as I said, let's first go to some current events right here. Let me put up an image. So I know that... I don't know if everybody knows what I'm about to talk about right here. Does everybody know the big game news that we had recently? Anybody want to venture to guess?
I think there's been a few things.
Yeah.
Do you mean the Xbox Game Pass moving to mobile? Do you mean the Final Fantasy 16 announcement? Do you mean the PS5 price announcement? What do you mean? Which
Smokey,
one?
I gotta say I'm a little disappointed because what I'm talking about is the American Girl doll that was recently announced that you can see on the camera.
Yeah.
So, just to let you guys know, everybody in the audience, and I meant to prepare for this and actually remember what American Girl she is. Courtney is the newest American Girl doll you can see there. She's a game developer, whose favorite game is Pac-Man. So this is Courtney. I've been memeing her up. I love this new American Girl doll. Wanted to get y'all's thoughts about this. You can see her chilling with her friends at the arcade, Stranger Things style. Any thoughts about the new American Girl doll?
80s.
Yeah, there you go.
That is literally the word that came to mind is 80s.
Yeah, it's sir. I mean, I love the effort. That very similar to what she was saying about the 80s. Like they're like, yo, let's create like a gamer girl, or let's get hip now. But then they like sort of skipped out like 40 years.
Yeah, why do they have to go back to this? I'm curious.
On the plus side, she has all of her clothes, so
True.
Oh yeah. There you go.
True that. But she's also
goodness.
holding her Walkman as if it's like attached like a ring to her fingers. You guys notice like her hand? I'm not exactly sure that is how it works. Emmy is saying, I cannot with you, Mike. You're her biggest fan. I want the working Pac-Man machine. If someone doesn't get Mike this doll, it'll be a crime. He needs it. I do. Guys, what are your thoughts about this? Is she really creepy or not? Because there's mixed beliefs whether she's going to kill you at night. Tony?
It's definitely before COVID because she's at an arcade. So like,
Yes. Oh,
Too soon.
rest in peace, Amari.
Rest in peace for sure.
I know.
No, they're going to be back better than ever. I believe it for sure. Oh no, Layla dropped. Okay, I'm sure she'll be back any moment here. Amar, any thoughts about this? Would you be willing to sleep at night knowing that Courtney's prowling your house?
Definitely no. Just, I mean, I mean, it's like dolls in general. Just, I mean, you mentioned it. I think when we talked about it, it was like the whole Chucky, like scary movie scenario that is happening. But I mean, honestly, aside from that, I mean, I guess that's kind of like what dolls look like. I actually kind of like it. I guess as someone who, went to college and saw like the numbers being low for like, like women in IT, and went to my computer science classes with like, like 1 or 2 women in the class of 30.
True.
Like I love this, and I have a lot of nieces, and one of them is actually like getting into building games, I think, with Roblox or something like that. So something like this is like very forward, and I really love it. So I enjoy it. I kind of agree on like I don't know, dolls just kind of creep me out, but I mean I love the 80s idea. I love the the style and the colors and everything.
Yeah, no, totally true. And we should say that all kidding aside with our Chucky references that and hopefully you figured it out just by the events that we host, that we are definitely supportive of the idea of seeing more portrayals such as this. So definitely shout out to American Girl. They were probably wondering why the hell I was tagging them in everything. You can see right here, this is Courtney as well, which I memed this up, and I'll be showing some of those as well. This is kind of a little weird. She seems to be like peeking off the side. I know you guys are in a little bit of a stream delay, so this will pop up in a moment here for you all.
Can you tell us what the American Girl is? I mean, I know maybe as a guy who doesn't, have kids,
Well,
maybe
isn't
I'm
that
not.
a store? That's a store in like North Lake.
I
Mall
actually
or
don't
something,
know.
right?
I have no clue.
So
Or
American
Concord?
Girl was originally founded to give little girls heroes to look up to that weren't waiting for their prince to come along. So it would tell
Nice.
stories of
Mm.
like an immigrant that came to America, or a Native American girl growing up in the founding of the country, or a slave girl who recently got her freedom papers with her family. I was worried because I thought they were actually going out of business. So to see this is really cool, that they are releasing new dolls and new models. And yeah, Courtney's a little dated. She kind of looks to me like she wishes she was an adult in a different era. But I'm actually really happy to see this being a thing and being new.
For
even
sure.
if she is.
Yeah. Most definitely.
For sure. Yeah, no, it's definitely
South
cool.
Park. It's at South Park Mall. Yeah.
South Park Mall, there is an American. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah, there's-
American Girl.
I
I
know I
wasn't
saw
aware of
somewhere.
that.
Yeah.
Is that a playable? I mean, we didn't talk about it at all, but is that like a playable Pac-Man
It
machine?
is
with
playable.
it, or-
It's got the USB
Okay.
cord on it, so it looks like
Okay.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, it is a playable machine, which makes me wonder how big the doll is and how big the arcade machine is. I mean, I think like American Girl dolls are probably like, I don't know. I can't even do it on the damn camera. But like what do I know, like 2 feet? Yeah, like American Girl dolls. 2 feet tall? I don't know. Something like that. Spokey, it sounds like you know about this more than we do.
I think they're like maybe like about this or so.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you guys have a water bottle, but like, a couple extra inches.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had books that came along, full-blown chapter books
Seen
and
that.
like
Yeah.
series and stuff. It was crazy, I was never big on American Girl myself. I was a tomboy. I liked rocks and, dirt bikes and things, but definitely respect what they were trying to do.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Faulty Code Gamers saying they are 18 inches. Thanks for that. Athena Alliance CLT is saying, I just want the working Pac-Man game. It almost reminds me of like an arcade one-up machine. Very, very similar in
Yeah.
look. Scarlett is saying, oh God, if it's huge, can you imagine her wandering your house? And Faulty is saying, I had one as a kid. I'm legit gonna try to get one of these. I'm down with Courtney. And I think Courtney might make some more guest appearances on this show as well. So stay tuned for Courtney here. All right, a couple other things, and this will kind of tie into our conversation, of course, as Spokey correctly said, the biggest news of the week is, of course, everything around Sony with the PS5, xCloud. There's a lot of different stories around here. I did a little bit of a meme right here. Actually, let me switch it up and show it here, which many of you saw in my late night mode, whatever. I did this. And I think this might be a little apropos for all the stuff we're talking about with all the things around gaming. So before we get to this meme right here, I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are on everything that Sony announced. Were you expecting the price? Are you planning to get a PS5? What are your thoughts there?
For me, I was happy to see a new Final Fantasy, even though it's probably going to be like 5 years before we actually get to play it. The price pleasantly surprised me. I really thought it was going to be more expensive than it was. So I think because I'm so heavy on the PC, the first system for me is going to be the PS5. I'll probably get them both eventually, but it'll probably be the PS5 first as of right now. Even though I think it's ugly, I do not like the design of that system at all. It looks like an air filter.
It does.
It will.
Yeah, I feel you on that point. That's the funny thing, Spokey. So if you've been if or for you and others who may not be aware, you guys might notice me like holding up the flag for Phil Spencer and the team at Xbox lately. I'm a huge admirer, major admirer of all the business decisions and creative decisions they've made. But to Spokey, to your point, as a predominantly, by far, like almost exclusively PC player, or 90% PC player, I would say, I'm less encouraged to go out and get an Xbox because I have everything on the Game Pass Ultimate and PC.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not actually thinking I'm going to jump. This might be one of the first times I don't think I'm not going to make these day one purchases, I think. I might be lying to myself. Tony, what are you thinking?
Yeah. No, man, I'm definitely the same way. Ironically, I have a huge Steam library backlog. I'm actually a Nintendo Switch player. I have a huge backlog in there. I do not want to catch COVID trying to punch out someone's grandma for like a PS5 or Xbox. Like that's just not what at least not right now. Not right now.
Not right.
But
you'll be punching out a grandma suited up. Like a season.
But no, similar to what Smokey was saying. To me, it looked like a building from Mass Effect. Like Mass Effect, like looks like one of those.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, it's all good. I think overall the PlayStation presentation pleasantly surprised me. Yes, it's $100 more than the Xbox counterparts. But in reality, dude, their presentation was pretty tough. They had some pretty good exclusives that they came back to back in the first 10 minutes. So I think that says a lot for sure.
I will note that those exclusives should have a big old asterisk on them. If you notice, they were console exclusives. But I feel you on that. Yeah. I do feel you on that, Tony, for sure. Amar and Layla, any thoughts on this? PS5, Sony.
I would say, Spider-Man. I'm excited about Miles Morales.
For sure.
Story. Yeah. So that's.
I'm still kind of on the plate. Yeah, definitely PS5. Definitely PS5. I'm gonna grab that before anything else, honestly. So I've always been PlayStation, so. I definitely would get that before I got the Xbox.
Quick question is Miles Morales, is he Afro Latino? I'm Puerto Rican and black, so I was is he Afro Latino or is he is he? Yeah, he is. I didn't know he was Puerto Rican. Everyone just said he was black, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's actually, you can see his parents in the Spider-Man game that Insomniac did for PS4. Which will also be optimized, I guess, for PS5. Amar, does it change things for you knowing that a lot of the things that we thought were going to be exclusive to PS5 are going to still be available for PS4? Spider-Man, Sackboy Adventure, the new Horizon Forbidden West. Does that make you a little bit reluctant to go out and get PS5?
No, I made that what I call a mistake before with PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 games, where I picked up things like Metal Gear Solid, came on both systems, and even I think Grand Theft Auto as well. I didn't pick up the PS4 one, and I kind of saw like the decline. Once I saw all the screenshots and everything, I was like, bummer. I didn't like I think with time now, like it's like I don't have as much time, so like the best way is to just play the game at the best quality that the game exists on. So that's my view on it now. But at the same time, I understand if someone has a older PlayStation and they want to wait a little bit, that also makes sense. So it's a personal opinion for me is that I'm probably going to pick up the new PlayStation just for that, just to get it all the newest and great. Sorry, get it on the newest and greatest in a way.
Yeah, I totally feel you on that. And we got a comment in the Twitch, friend of the show, Nomad, saying that PS4 games will be available to play in PlayStation Plus for free. Yeah, it's not all. It's a select amount of games. We should say that will be available on like kind of PlayStation Plus's kind of seemingly answer to Game Pass, which I don't know if I'm as impressed with personally as somebody who has, I think, played every single one of those games except one. Like, they're all kind of a little bit older, but I'm still down for it. I'm still loving it. What about this meme right here, folks? I posted this on Reddit, I should say, and I was shocked, to be honest, because I'm not like a meme maker here. But I posted this last night only to wake up to this being the #1 post on the Indie Games subreddit, and it still keeps climbing. So I'm feeling, that's why I'm wearing the sunglasses and just feeling like I'm super cool. today, only for me to post my next meme and no one like it at all, as inevitably will happen. But how do you all feel about this whole idea? I got a lot of different responses to it. This whole idea of happily spends. This is Scumbag Steve, we should say, if you're familiar with this.
Scumbag Kevin Federline? Is that?
It is not K-Fed.
Okay.
Popo Zao, wasn't that his song? Anybody? All right, nobody gets to the references. Happily spends $70 on Madden 20XX. Complains $10 is too much for an indie game. This is Indie Game Club after all. How do you all feel about that?
Relatable. Extremely relatable.
Preach, Spokey. Let us know.
Keeping it around.
Okay, so despite the fact that The Sims is one of the main games that I will play and stream, and I enjoy it, I sat down at one point in the past and priced out how much money I would spend, how much money I would give to EA if I bought the base game at that point in time and all of the available expansion packs at that point in time, and I will never forget this number. It was $620.
Jeez.
Jesus.
It was $620 for the same game, but more digital furniture. So I hate EA. Despite the fact that I love The Sims, I wish it was a different company. And I hate that they nickel and dime gamers and have been getting away with it for decades and will continue to get away with it because I don't know. I don't know why. So yeah, relatable. I don't think $10 is too much for an indie game. The 3 games that we're going to be reviewing, I paid for out of pocket because I know that directly feeds someone, that supports someone's family and dream. And it's not a lot of money. You spend way more on AAA titles. Like,
yeah,
yeah, for sure, absolutely. Amar, Tony, Layla, any thoughts on this whole idea? I thought about this in a way was, we're willing to spend $70 every time a new roster lineup changes in Madden. And from what I understand, and again, this isn't a diss on Madden. I know people love the game. It's a cool game. But essentially, from what I understand, this newest Madden isn't even a good Madden, from what I understand. And yet people are all down to do that. And then somebody, even 99 cents for a indie game, people are like, these developers are too greedy.
Yeah, I think the hard part is probably the comfort of coming to something familiar rather than taking a chance on something different. And the biggest thing is that there are platforms that have good reviewing systems, Metacritic, Steam. Like there are some good, like you can actually go look at the reviews for this indie game to see if this is something you like. You can look at reviews. Yes. You can look at Twitch for gameplay, right? I still look at Twitch for gameplay for AAA titles that I'm not sure if I want to get into. Monster Hunter is one of them. Shout out to Mystic. She's been streaming that for a while. But I definitely, people cling to the familiar. They cling to the comfort. They don't want to try anything new. But like I said, now this is 2020. There's so many ways that you can understand and see if a game is for you or not. An indie game is for you or not.
Excellent points, for sure. And Faulty Code Gamer is saying, I think people don't see it as essentially the same thing as supporting a small business. And I think that's part of it, too. I've been seeing a lot of friends on social media post about the fact that people are willing to spend like $40 for a cup of coffee, but they launch a business, and like, where are your friends at in that case? And that happens a lot. Like if we're gonna be completely real about it, we're all cool with going to see the newest Avengers or whatever, but as soon as your friends got some crafts going, you're like, that ain't me. So that's another thing there. Amar and Layla, any additional thoughts on this whole idea of pricing games? Do you guys even agree to the idea of like games? Should we be even looking at them as like consumer products? Like I'm getting $5 per hour sort of like mentality. I mean, is this an appliance?
No, I don't think so. And it's really hard to it's the whole dollar per enjoyment thing is really tough, especially given if you like let's talk about like some of the games that we've been talking about today. Like some of them got some really good reviews, but if you are trying to measure them, dollar per hour, then you're not going to get much out of that.
Sure.
The hard part, I think, for games, and I think Tony touched on that. With Madden, you know what you are getting. You have the whole, real life sport fandom that you are bringing into the game as well. You are seeing your favorite, your fans or Cam Newton, a different team and stuff like that, which is just not something that you can get with the regular games. Also, some people are just used to, like when you're used to paying a price for a game, like which is like sport game so far. That's it doesn't become an issue when like another system comes up, because some of those people have been you know putting down $60 every summer, for the last I don't know how many Maddens there are now. It's like since Sega days, so is that like 20?
More than
I'm
that,
not
yeah.
even.
Oh, yeah.
But I agree. Like it's. I mean, that's why I'm happy about things like Game Pass, I think, happening now. I think that model is a little bit, and even probably some game bundles, I guess, in a way, where like those models are more supportive of just taking a risk and like just having multiple games and not have to tie $1 per game, and instead being able to kind of like get a package of games, and you'll try them, and you won't have to deal with the idea of like guilt and so on, because some people go on Steam now and they would play a game and they would beat it, and then they would complain about it being too short,
Yeah.
even if it's like an amazing game, like the how good the experience is does not equate dollars for them. So it's a little bit, I guess, more complicated than that. I mean, there's more factors as well, but I also want to say, like, I would love to see that meme with Michael's face just wearing that hat. So I'm sorry, but I do want to see that.
There's
If
a
we were in
strong possibility you can capture a photo of me and my wife in high school and me wearing that outfit. If you remember this being the era of like you got served.
Yep.
The most horrible era of fashion.
Yes.
The most horrible
Oh my
era
God.
of fashion possible, where we're just wearing athletic sports gear and things that we could fit multiple people in the pant size that I was wearing. So I'm hoping those photos are burned.
I mean, on the plus side, you got to wear sweatpants in public,
And
you were cool.
I was cool. Thanks, Spokey. No, yeah, we can do this. In fact, Franco, a friend of the show, many people know him, an infamous troller here in Charlotte. He actually responded to this on Facebook and had a photo of me. Actually, let me post. I don't have his meme, but it was a photo that I posted of myself, and he zoomed into it. I did this joking, your grandma's favorite streamer. I just figured I found this image of my daughter while showing her old photos of herself, and I was like, I have no idea why I made this, but Franco like zoomed in on the photo of me and said like his meme was like spends $100 on 10 indie games, doesn't like any of them. So there's that. So yeah, I'm going with this whole persona.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, Layla.
Yeah.
Bring us back.
I didn't want to I know I'm having technical difficulties.
No, it's all good.
No, as far as the meme with the spending of the money and comparing prices and whatnot, I definitely thought it was hilarious, just because I'm the type of person where, like what Spokey was saying, is that when I look at like packages, or if I want to buy a game, I literally go to, oh, how much is the deluxe edition? Like, I don't even look at the base game. I'm like, I want all the stuff off the bat. Like, I don't want to have to go nickel and pick it up later. If I want what I want when I want it. And as far as like indie games, I didn't really get into indie games until I got on here with y'all. So I definitely can see how corporations and like big name titles can like make people feel like that's more valuable than indie games. And I've enjoyed a lot of the games that we've played, but I wouldn't have never thought to get them had I not been on, the show with y'all and talking about them. And I think that what you were saying about businesses, I really, really relate and feel that as well, because I do have my own business and that I'm trying to establish. And it's like, where are your friends? It's like you set a price for something and your friends are like wanting to nickel and dime you and do deals with you and get discounts, but then we'll turn around and go get the same product from some big time corporation.
Yes.
It's like, that's why corporations have so much power over us, is because of that thought process. Instead of helping a friend build their own business, we are continuing to support these corporations that have money, that are established, that have a bunch of employees that are helping them build their dream, when you could be helping your friend build their dream.
Amen.
And that's why I felt so passionate about that, because it's like, I understand you want to support your friends by supporting their business.
I
So
love it.
I definitely get the meme and all that.
And I think one of the big things underlying all of these types of conversation as we move forward is something that like literally keeps me up at night, is the idea that in the future, as we continue to move down an automated society, that eventually we will be freed up as human beings in our capacity to explore who we are in our creative side. I mean, like, this is a perfect example right here. 20 years ago, if I said, hey, I want to get with friends of mine, Layla and Spooky Dogs, we've never actually even met physically, right? Only through this screen. And so that's like amazing that we can run a show like this live and broadcast for the entire world. And we've had developers watching these shows, all this. We have the creative tools. Those tools have been like democratized in a way and are approachable in a way, accessible, that they never have been. So I think one of the biggest crises of the future is when we're all creators and we're all expressing ourselves, which is good. How are we going to do that when every single person is a creator? Like, what does that ecosystem looks like, right? When every single person is a broadcaster, a game developer, a streamer, that is our life, to be creative. In some ways it sounds amazing. In some ways it sounds pretty wild.
Yeah, and then like,
yeah, no, please, Layla, go for it.
sorry. COVID itself has been a huge curse to many of us, but also it's been a blessing in disguise for me. Like, I quit my job. I found out what I was passionate about. Like, I went in on what I really wanted to do for my mental health and decided to stop supporting a corporation that treats me like a number, and actually follow and put all my passion and energy and drive into something that I am passionate about, that I'm happy doing, and wanting to make money, teach my kids to have skills so that they're able to have their own side hustle, so that they're going into life prepared with already a skill that they're able to do on their own to create their own business or do their own job. And I think that I would never have had the time and energy to sit there and think about thinking that way and living that way if I didn't have to sit back and while all this was going on and thinking what would really make me happy and make my family happy and give me more time to hang out with them and build a self-sustaining life for us. So
yes, Smokey, I'm with you. Let's clap it up for that. Clap it up for entrepreneurship. Clap it up for the approach you're taking with it, Layla. Absolutely love it. Hopefully we can all support each other down those types of journeys. Absolutely love it. And keep us and our whole audience abreast to all the updates on your end with that stuff. Because I hope the audience here, I think everybody would agree, you know, we try to be supportive of each other in this way. So let's keep that energy going forward.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Before we actually get onto these indie games, I hear my friend Courtney's got something to say, so I'm going to bring her back one more time here, our sixth member of the show. Courtney, is that you? I was going to do a voice, so I was like, I might not do that. My girl Courtney is back with a new console. Yo, I posted this meme the other day. You guys can see I was going through something and just making memes all day.
Courtney.
A lot of people didn't actually get that this is a real system right here. People thought I'm just like making up memes. This is a legit gaming system coming out.
What is that?
Has it? And I do have a question, Mike.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen this last year. The idea of a crank next to it, and it's probably was on like Kickstarter or something. I don't know, but it's been in the works. The idea that it was there's a crank on the side of the thing, so it's like you just crank it and you get all the juice and you play all the indie games.
From my understanding, I don't think it actually powers it in any way. There's no juice component with the crank. I think that was like kind of spread around. But yeah, the system is called Playdate. It is an indie handheld system. It is designed, as you can see, it's a really durable. They're still saying they're going to ship it in 2020, by the way. It is $150, which does sound like quite a bit. I will say, let's talk about this though. I will say that it is going to also support, because Spooky, I see you right there. Let me hit you with this though. That as part of that, you get hit with like you get 12 games by like really prominent indie game developers. Zach Gage, Bennett Foddy, the creator of Katamari Damacy. Like a lot of creators are making proprietary games like exclusive to this system, which does utilize that crank. I'll have to do some crank that. Whatever. I don't even. How do you crank that? Was this the crank that? I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyway,
so if the crank doesn't power it, is that like something like if you get bored, you're like, oh man,
Emote.
whatever with
no,
this
it's for
game, you
gameplay
just like,
mechanics.
Game
The game's
component.
used.
oh, okay.
So there's like a fishing game. There's other games where you can like go
Oh,
through
alright,
stuff.
alright. Alright, okay.
And they just updated that it's like really durable. It's like purely metallic, and you can use a screwdriver to open it. So it's not plastic and cheap in any way. So yeah, last thoughts on this. This is definitely indie related. So hopefully everybody's cool with us talking about this before we move on to the next game. Anybody interested in it?
I was gonna be mad when you said $150 to me. I was like, "Excuse me," but after hearing, how durable it is and the different games that are gonna come with it, just as a starter, and that's included in the price, I'm curious. I'm not gonna lie, and if nothing else, I am drawn to the durability aspect because I don't know. Maybe I'm showing my age, but I don't know if you guys remember Dreamcasts and GameCubes. You could chuck those down the stairs.
Yes.
You're good.
Yes. It's thinking.
So- I'm curious. I'll keep an eye on it now that I know.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to someone in the chat. They said, I saw a story about this. The idea that you can play Doom on a pregnancy test.
Yes.
I saw a
just gonna
story
do this.
about it and I was reading it. But imagine that though. If you know the contents of what the game Doom is about,
Yes.
and then being able to play it on a pregnancy test, it's sort of disturbing,
Yeah.
Like-
Screw you, Skyrim. Doom is still coming at you. You're gonna be playing Doom on your microwave, and I think it already is. Somebody put it on a refrigerator, like one of those Samsung refrigerators.
It's like a competition of like what you can get, like to run Doom. Like there was someone running Doom on like a McDonald's kiosk and stuff like that. It's wild. If you wanna see how far people can take it, then yeah, that's how it goes.
I would say that's pretty lit. Layla, would you agree?
That's lit, fam.
It's totally lit, fam. Squad. Yeah, I think that this is really cool. I will say last couple things about it. The speakers are apparently amazing. The screen, while it's not backlit, which did have me concerned, it's made from like kind of the same technology that like the Kindle reader things are, if you're familiar with that. So it's supposed to be really good in like low light settings. And I think also it's coming from Panic, who were the publishers of Firewatch and Untitled Goose Game. That they're also really trying to make this something that's sustainable for indie game developers too. So I think in light of our recent conversation, it's worth checking out. I'm honestly super excited about it. I'll get it.
Yeah, that looks cool.
I'll take a look at it. Yeah.
Sweet. Love it. Do we got some cameos over there, Layla? Do they want to say hello?
Everybody wants to sit in my lap. Everybody wants to be on the show.
Love it. Love it. We'll have to
I
get
got
them
two
jumping into
pups.
this. Hey.
And Aurelia's here.
Hey, Aurelia. How are you?
Aurelia.
Aw.
It's her show now.
I love it. Well, we have one more square right here available on the side. We could have a sixth guest. Aurelia can come in. Yeah, I don't think we have anything inappropriate today. I was about to say. No, I think we're good today. All right. Without further ado, folks, thank you guys for talking about those current events right now. But without further ado, we are going to jump to our first game of the night, which is going to be Sewer Rave. So let me get that going right here. Sewer Rave from Autumn Rain. Really appreciate Autumn Rain jumping into our stream when we played this. So yeah, check this out. Sewer Rave from Autumn Rain. So that, friends, was Sewer Rave from Autumn Rain. You'll notice that we fully embraced this game. We're having our little COVID rave over here at my house. Folks, what do you all think about this? Can somebody describe this game first? I think that's the best. For people who have not played this game and are watching and maybe are more confused now after watching the trailer, does anybody want to take a crack at describing what you're doing in this game?
All right. Do you, it's definitely a collection. It was just, what do they call it? Hide and seek collection game. Think of Spiral on. I'm not sure if I can say it on Molly. Like,
you're fully welcome to say it.
Okay, Spiral the Dragon. But no, man, I totally love the game. The game was like I said, it's an exploration game. You do go from environment to environment or room to room, and it is actually very hard to trace your steps back because I think everything must be randomized. But you're essentially looking for cheeses. You're a mouse or a rat, and you're looking for cheese and all these, and you're traveling through a maze. And there's a lot. I think what provides a lot of characteristic to this game is the environment and the weird rooms that you're in. And I'll stop there because we're going to probably talk about some of these weird rooms.
Definitely weird. I would definitely say the weirdest game we've played. What are the reactions? That was a great setup there, Tony. What are the reactions to like the weirdness that you all experienced? Because it is somewhat randomized, we should say. So there was what's weird. I think Layla, I remember when you were watching my stream, you said you saw different things than what I saw in your stream.
Oh yeah.
What was? Let's talk about it. Let's comfort each other here. What was your experience like?
This game is one big trippy adventure, I swear.
Yeah.
As I was playing, the first thing that freaked me out was that huge like rat face in the sky, and I looked up and I was like, what is that? I don't even understand. It follows you like all around. The second thing that freaked me out, did y'all encounter the deer in that like long hallway? I literally was staring at them. I was like, oh no, this is not a thing. And then everything started to zoom in. I was like, the game is leaving me because everything started turning black where I was standing. I started to run. It was so trippy. Like this whole game was trippy. There was dancing, twerking rats everywhere. Mice. And then one of the things that tripped one of my viewers out was there were these rats hanging on the wall.
Yes!
Like they were hanging and I was like, what the heck is going on? Why are you hanging there? And I like walk over it and it falls down and it's still dancing. And I was like, what? You should be dead.
It's called commitment.
I don't understand. Yeah, it was definitely, the spotlights were really cute. Yeah. I thought the spotlights were cute with the little happy face on the lights. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah, I love that.
But I didn't really get the adventure. You just collect cheese and fruit and you trade them with like the queen possum and then you like fight.
Shout out Queen Possum.
It was very
Queen
creepy.
Possum.
Yes.
Giant snake god thing.
Yeah.
I think that's here we to explain the game, like you said, it's exploration, but there's so much weird stuff that I saw in this game that I think, is it okay to go ahead and start talking about it now?
Dude, oh yeah, absolutely. if we haven't said it before, if you're new to Indie Game Club, this is spoiler city right here. So definitely, but I will say that even if we spoil this game, it's like you should still play it. At least in my opinion, for sure, still play it. But yeah, Tony, take us there.
It's definitely an experience. Like some of the things, so I saw people, like you said, the rats were twerking. And several rooms, I saw a platform where there was like a rat battle, where there was two rats and one had a mic. And then there was another room where there was a giant snake monster. And then he mentioned Possum Queen, and that thing was weird. You can go into a subway and it can take you to like several different areas.
People are like, dude, what the hell are you talking about?
I know. It reminds me, for some reason, the environment almost reminds me of like the Paris catacombs. Because of how because you can come in one entrance, be in a new environment, but then if you double back, like turn around, I'm just going to turn around and just go back the same way I came, you go into a completely different room. And each room has different music to it. The music is awesome, by the way. The music is truly awesome. But
shout out to Lady Satan who did the music.
Lady, that's an interesting name. So, but each room has a different song to it. That's like totally awesome, man. I'll stop there because there's a lot of weird stuff.
A lot to
that
unpack
countries
for
are.
sure. No,
I
that was
just
great.
want to. Speaking of the music, the two rats, they were actually rapping. I mean, that was a
They were
full on rap battle,
Full-on battle.
and that was the first section that I walked into, and I just knew that the game was like awesome at that point. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a trip because like you have two rats battling in here. There is. Yeah, like even that we are like, you know, quote unquote spoiling the game and discussing it now, this is totally worth playing
Oh yeah.
just because of the amount of content that is in there. Between the music, between the like all of the stuff that the rats just say, like the almost like I don't know, one line, like just they would say just a one line of something that is random. Sometimes it's like funny.
Yeah.
I know there was the one that I clipped of of Michael, or like there's a rat asked him like, do you ever feel like crying or something like that? I was like, oh my gosh, that guy is like the depressing drunk rat
Oh,
over
yeah.
here. Um,
And they caught me in a vulnerable moment because I got to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
no.
on Monday, like I'm sure you all can relate. I mean, I know especially Layla and Spoke. I know you guys stream like on a heavy schedule. Like, there's got to be those days where you're just like not really wanting to do this. And like that was a day where I was like, I wanted to play those games, but you know, you got to be somewhat like entertaining for like others and everything. And I was just like, let me put these shades on so people don't see the tears. And I'm talking to all these rats. And yes, Amar was right. Yeah, some of those rats, the dialogue was hitting me hard.
but that was really cool because of the fact that it's almost like it is something that you might hear in a
Yeah,
party
for
where
sure.
like you might not know everyone, but everyone is someone's friend, so you can have like that like I don't know like distant conversation of like, okay, you are cool, and you can walk around and I don't know, go try out the food or get some cheese or whatever. But yeah, no, it's awesome game.
Yeah, for sure. Spokey, what did you think about the aesthetic to the game and the music and style and everything?
So let me just clarify. I watched Layla stream it from beginning to end because for some reason my computer just said no, and after watching it, I kind of understood. It was one big amazing fever dream to me.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of chilling watching Layla's stream and drinking myself, and at some point she looked up at the sky and it was this giant rat, and then like she said the deer thing. I think it was the deer thing where I finally just kind of went, yeah, we don't need any more.
Yeah.
I'm done because I can't.
Yeah.
I can't be, you know what I mean? I can't drink and watch this. It was crazy. It did look fun though. And one of the things that I wanted to do even after this is try to figure out why my computer won't play it so that I can stream it because yeah, it looked crazy. And then just to hear that nobody had the same experience, that just kind of makes me even more excited. To kind of see what's gonna go on, because yeah, the twerking rats, and then she would walk up to one and it would just kind of drift away.
Yes.
Like, they'll be
And you could like
talking,
push
and
them
it's
and like
what
spiral
is
out.
happening right now? I don't know. What are we doing? Yeah, it was a lot, but I enjoyed it in a weird kind of uncomfy way.
Hey, did you guys make it to a hallway where everyone was speaking backwards?
Yes.
Like you get to a certain hallway.
I saw that.
Like,
Some of the rats were speaking backwards.
Dude, everyone.
I wanted to throw up.
I thought it was like in a different language, and I'm like, yo, everyone's like speaking backwards. And then also a little Easter egg. I don't, this won't spoil it for everybody. In the subway train, if you go to the person in the subway train or the rat and you speak to them, they say, "Oh, this train station is a Pokestop."
Yeah. Yeah, like the cute little rat, like wearing like this outfit right here, just on the side. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah, we got a couple people saying it's pretty out there. Yeah, Faulty Code Gamer, in response to you, Spokey is saying, your computer saw the game coming and said, Scarlett saying, this sounds like a trip and a half. Yeah, like, especially the part where Layla said when you're down the hallway and you start getting the zoom effect.
Yeah.
I'm like, did I do drugs today? I'm like,
it's vertigo.
Oh no, it's Monday. Okay.
Crazy vertigo.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy for sure. Like I love the sense of exploration. I feel like more games need to do this.
Yes.
Where it's not strictly, it like flips a lot of the stuff on the head. Like, yes, it has the collection piece to Tony, to your point. And in order to get those like cheese and fruit, you got to do some platforming puzzles, which I got in a pretty good rhythm of, but I know it could be platform.
Yeah, it was hard.
Platform jumps can be
Yeah, no, I
difficult
could not.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge was that you don't move along with the platforms. So like,
Yep.
if you jump on a
Yeah.
platform and it's moving, it'll just move from underneath you. But I
Yeah.
will say, like, the sense of just like exploration and adventure and like
Yes.
having no idea what to expect is so refreshing, because we don't ever think about that when we're playing games, right? Like that's one of the most nice things that's why I love Spelunky so much. A lot of people know that's one of my top games of all time, is like that whole sense of there's something to discover, there's mechanics to be unearthed, and this game had it in droves, and I really feel like that was the magic of the game.
Yeah, some of the stuff was sort of freaky though. I'll let you know
for
if I get a nightmare tonight. There was now that I remember, there was like
what kind of freaky are we talking about?
No,
Not the good kind. Not the good.
There was like deer in the walls, like in the ceiling in the walls. At one point, I get to a room and there was like not deer, like a Bambi type of figure.
Yes,
and they were like halfway in the walls. And you're like, yo, what the heck? Like, it was sort of weird.
Yes.
There are multiple levels with those deers, and yeah, it's trippy for sure. And there was a mermaid that I saw, and I think
I didn't
she
see
said
it.
she said help. It's in the trailer, and I was hoping the trailer would tell me more. But like she would say help, and I tried talking to her. I was like, help. I was like, I don't know. So I walked out of the room hoping that it might turn into like an adventure. Like gaming wise, there's like some like adventure elements to the game where like there was a guy who like he told me that that they lost their job and they gave me like a rubber duck. I don't know what to do with a rubber duck. Like I just got it, and then so like maybe there's like some parts where you kind of like speak to someone and you can give them something, and you can kind of have the adventure level, kind of similar to how the main game progression goes, where like you start unlocking things at the end, which is the cheese and the fruit. But yeah, like the mermaid, I have no idea, and it's almost like that's kind of like the kind of makes the game a little bit replayable, I guess. But it's randomized, so like some of the stuff that I actually saw. So after I was done playing, I think it's a really good game to stream, just to have other people watch you play.
Yes. Absolutely.
To watch people play, because I went and saw. So I was jumping on and off watching Michael play, and then once I was done, I was wondering if I was having the same end. That I got the same ending. So I went and actually ended up watching like some of Michael's gameplay, and it was just a completely different game. I was like, some of the stuff that he did were just things that I didn't see. The ending was different. I mean, it's not
what was
that.
The ending for you?
Mine was that it's very terrible, and don't clip that because it told me that I got the plague.
Oh no! Ooh.
Yeah, not the good time to be telling me that.
Before Corona.
That game did not, put a cotton swab through my nose or anything like that. This is not a traditional. I wouldn't say this is a good COVID test, but no, that was the ending, and I remember yours. Yours was different. I won't spoil it, but it's like I had a lot of those moments, and now that I'm watching the trailer, there are some things that I'm seeing that, like, there's a mini game that I just saw, and it's like, what is this? So yeah, I'll probably just end up watching a lot of YouTube videos, and maybe I don't know, speedruns or whatever people do. But I feel like there is more to this game, and I would just enjoy watching to see what else.
Here's a question. Did anybody so there's a theater when you get to the train, or sometimes you can come across the theater. Did anybody actually watch the full length of that silent? So you get into a theater, there's a bunch of people sitting around, and you can watch. There's a silent movie, like with a clown or some weird stuff, dude. And you can watch a silent movie on the actual on the actual game. Did anybody watch that all the way through? Because like halfway through, I was like, yo, this is sort of weird.
I don't think I saw it all the way through. What was getting weird with it?
Yeah, it is.
What's the weird part about this game? Tell us.
Yeah, exactly. Weird, you said, Tony.
First of all, it was a silent movie about a clown, and then the clown was just like walking. It was walking, and then it catches like a deer or something, and then after that, it got sort of weird. I don't know. It was just sort of it was sort of weird, dog.
Is anybody concerned that the discussion about this game sounds more like group therapy than anything else?
It sounds like therapy?
Yes, sounds like group therapy.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there. And that's what's interesting because like you're reading like the dialogue, interpreting it, and that's one of the things I asked about like while I was playing and I was saying it on the stream. It's like I wonder how Autumn Rain like not only developed some of the dialogue, but there's two other factors. Like one, it has Twitch integration, so you can actually have the people on your Twitch, their comments will show up for different rats, which I think is super cool. And something I experienced on my run that I know Layla mentioned she didn't have on hers, maybe you all had it, was that I got to like this little computer that allowed me to submit text
I saw that,
for future rats to be able to say in the game for other people. And
That's weird.
And I was like, I want to say something profound, and I didn't get to it. And then I encountered a rat that talked about diarrhea frosting, and I was like, okay, well then if that rat is talking about diarrhea frosting, I can come up back to the computer. I felt like profoundly responsible. It is really cool. So
that is very cool.
I love that idea. I think that should be explored more. I'd love to explore that more in a future game. Kind of.
So Zach, if you had to say, what was this game about?
Oh God, what was it about?
What was it not about?
I think it's different for every single person. Like, Array. I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah.
At the end of mine, is they escaped from like the rat planet, and I tried to like delve. Let me go back one thing, Tony, because this is like, you know me when I play these games. Like, you guys are probably gonna laugh, but I always try to like go deep beneath the surface. There, one of the parts that got me was like the subway. It said for rats only, and if you watched me there, I was like, what type of apartheid system is this? Like, I was trying to understand, like, have I been talking to mice? Have I been talking to rats? What is going on? Because like, why would they say for rats only? Is it because like the possum queen and the snake aren't invited? Because they reference mice too. So many questions.
It's an experience.
I don't know.
That's one thing I could say. This game is an experience, and I would highly recommend it.
Yes, for sure. Did anybody feel otherwise? You know, we like hot takes on Potions and Pixels. Did anybody think it's not? Everybody loved it? Yeah, thumbs up all around.
Yeah, definitely.
This is awesome.
Uncomfy, but yeah, I got no complaints. Strangely enough, it's weird.
I love it. The music was really cool. There was a lot of stuff going on. Like, I definitely would like to go into this further. Yeah, it's just wild. One other thing about the subway, were you guys able to reach the top spot on the subway? Like, there was like... No? Sorry for my random question.
Because
like, you remember on the subway map, there was like multiple sites,
there was like
one location you couldn't go to.
Yeah, there was the stops you could go to was the snake, the queen, the theater, and then the exit or something.
Yeah. See, I thought that was so cool as well, that the developer was like, we're just going to play with every expectation you have. And there's a spot that you can't go to on the subway. We're going to just mess around with your head in every single way.
And this is how you know it was randomly generated, because you know for some reason you can actually access all of those rooms without ever going on the subway.
Yes.
So it's like, but when you use the subway and you go to one of those locations and you double back again, it's randomly generated. You can't backtrace anything. Like, you can't ever go backwards.
Yes, that's what's interesting. Yeah, once I figured that whole idea out about like going back and forth between the doors and it taking me into a different place, I thought that was really cool, for sure.
It's smart.
I think they just
go for it, Amar.
They like they changed like the chances of like going to some rooms and not the others. Mm-hmm. And even some of the rooms end up almost like having like a clone. Maybe they just like, maybe it's the same room and then they just changed like what's inside it. Because I know there was the one that kind of like looks like an X that had like that Pokemon fight style thing.
Yeah.
There's so much of this game. But in the same one, you can meet like a slime guy with just gloves, which I don't know what that is for. So I feel like as I was playing more and more, there was some levels I was seeing, and there were ones that I didn't see anymore. So I'm wondering if there's like some, and I was seeing the subway more and more.
Yeah.
Toward the end of the game, I guess once I actually got more cheese and
I think that was a little more purposeful. Yeah, to like guide you in that direction. Yeah, no, that's totally true. We got a couple more comments right here. Sounds like a trip and a half, makes you question your mental state. As far as the exploration, Darth Sebulba says that's why I like Zelda games, for the exploration. It's about the journey. It says Scarlet Aeon. Yes, totally true. If this sounds like something you would try, or if you just want to try something different, that's not your standard game, this is a great place to start. And I will say, in light of our conversation yesterday, or excuse me, 2 days ago, LGBT Voices in Gaming, that Autumn is, with her Twitter description, a trans game developer and programmer. So if you are looking to look into and support other additional voices here, that Autumn Rain is definitely one to check out. She goes by, they go by @Slitherpunk on Twitter. So make sure to check out @Slitherpunk on Twitter. Awesome, folks. Any last words about this before we move on to our next game?
Don't drink the sludge.
Oh, drink.
Don't drink this.
Gosh.
One question for
Yes,
you guys.
please.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you going to play through this again?
Yeah, it's pretty
I think a 10.
good. 8 easy. 8 to 10 easy.
Yeah.
I would say a 10. I missed a lot of parts out of it. I enjoyed kind of the music. I feel like I kind of played some of the platforming parts badly, which is just part of the game. But I enjoyed this a lot. And it's just I want to see if there's other endings. Like even after having that number of people in here talking about the game, we still didn't come to like a clear conclusion of what the ending is, right? So there may be something big that we are missing. So I'll give it another try. It's a quick game too, so that helps.
Absolutely. And before we go to the next game, I think I hear Courtney asking another question. Do you guys hear that? Anybody else hear Courtney? Okay, there. Hey.
I just picture her having a
my
raspy
God.
voice.
Yeah. Courtney.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
She
Want to play some games?
comes in, she has a cigarette.
The old lady.
That might be what she's holding in the bottom of her hand off the picture.
That's time ever.
She's sitting there like, what y'all talking about? I heard y'all talking about Sewer Rave.
Games.
In honor of Sewer Rave being so music focused and you see all these people dancing, Courtney is curious. She wanted to ask you guys, what's your favorite dance movie of all time? This is a rapid fire question. Spokey, let's start with you. Favorite dance movie
God,
of
you
all time?
would. Okay. I can't remember the name of it. I can never remember the name of it. It's not Step Up. It's the young man who moves. Chris Brown is in the beginning of the movie, and he moves from L.A. after
Stomp
Chris
the Yard.
Brown dies.
Stomp the Yard.
What is it?
Stomp the Yard.
Yes, Stomp the Yard. That one.
Nice. I can't say I think I remember, maybe not. I actually have no idea about many of these movies. I don't know. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks for asking these questions. I have no idea what I'm going to do here. Layla, what about you? Are you voting Stomp the Yard, or you got another one for us?
I was definitely going to say Stomp the Yard, just because I remember waiting for that movie to come out just so I could praise Chris Brown at that time. I was like, Chris Brown's in a movie. Oh my gosh! Yeah. But I did Save the Last Dance too. I feel like they touched on a lot of stuff in that movie that are wasn't spoken about often. So I did Save the Last Dance.
Love it.
Or Honey. Sorry,
Honey. Was that Jessica Alba?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know about these, but I can't say I've seen many of them. Amar, what about you? I know this is your favorite thing in your spare time, so hit me up with your answer.
I would say movie, right?
Anything.
Like a movies?
Sure.
Yeah. I would say it's an old one, but Breakin', like the one with the breakdancing one.
Was that with Van Damme?
With the when you,
With
yeah, actually, I think that's the one that have.
the broom, right?
Yes, that's the one with the broom. Yep. Yeah, it did have Van Damme for a small minute or so, right? Okay, that's what. Yeah, that's
Those
the
were his
gift.
dance moves, yeah.
Gosh, cannot. But yeah, Breakin' is good stuff.
Love it. Love it.
What was the movie with B2K?
You Got Served.
You got served.
That's
There
what
we
I was
go.
saying. Tonight.
That's
You suckers got served. All right, Tony.
All right, so I know probably a classic one just to say it. It's Footloose.
Footloose,
But
yes.
another one, another fan favorite because they just took it so seriously was Bring It On. If you can consider that, because they just took that stuff so serious. It was like a gang battle between those cheerleaders.
Yes.
They took
That
it
was my
so
sister's
serious.
favorite movie. She watched it over and over again. It drove me crazy after a while.
I do remember that
I've
one.
literally watched all the cheer movies, all of them, because I did all-star cheer for 6 years, so it was like a thing.
you were
Like
in
we
it.
would all get together and watch all the cheer movies together.
I love it. And for me, I'm gonna have to say I'm Team Swayze all day. I gotta go with my boy in Dirty Dancing.
Dirty
Straight
Dancing.
classic. If you haven't seen it before, timeless. I'm being totally legit here. I really love that movie. We got a couple comments right here. Does Happy Feet count? Love it, Mystic. Thank you for that. Faulty saying mine saved the last dance. Mystic is saying Honey was the best too. And then Faulty Code is also saying, does Silver Linings Playbook count? Yo, shout out to your reference. Throwing you some points for that. Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a great example. Great movie for sure. Shout out to that.
Yeah, it is. Love that movie.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. I mean, thank you, Courtney, for these questions. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, you'll have some more for
good
us.
job, Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney, you're killing it. I love it. Like, you're doing awesome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right.
Now you gotta do it right. You're welcome, sugar.
Yeah.
Anytime. I'm really happy.
Do you boys want to play any games?
Courtney moonlights as a working at a diner, apparently. Thanks, Courtney. Okay, our next game is called Switch and Shoot. So let's go and check this game out. Switch.
Cool.
I don't know what I'm doing, Smokey. I don't know. We're trying here. We're trying. All right, Switch.
I'm having a good time.
I love it.
I'm happy.
Hey, I'm glad. Shout out to everybody having a good time. All right, Switch and Shoot. This is the trailer right here. All right, Switch and Shoot. That, folks, was Switch and Shoot from developer Matt Glanville. Super excited to talk about this game. A couple more comments coming into the chat. Nomad saying you should have different guests do the voice for Courtney each week. I love it. Yeah, we're trying to switch it up and keep it spicy on the show. We're going to implement that secret word idea we talked about last week sometimes. We're going to try to do some other thing. Tony right here, Tony Taiga 90 saying this trailer makes it look so easy. Darcy Bulba saying probably has 1 million hours on it. Yeah, this is something. So before I open the full conversation here, just to be abundantly clear to those who are watching this game is a one-button game. So why it's called Switch and Shoot is literally you have one button. You don't even move around or like joystick-wise. Your ship naturally moves in one direction. And if you want to shoot and change directions, you press the button. And that is the whole game. It's your classic shmup with power-ups and a lot of other clever things to it. All right, panel, what are we feeling about this game?
I am playing the game as we are in this show.
You're playing it right now.
Stop playing it.
The game was pretty difficult. I got a whole 9 points, so I killed a whole 9 enemies.
I got
And,
11. I got
Made it
11.
to 12. I win.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yay!
Yay!
There's a few tricks. So very similar, like you said. If you push a button, you shoot, but then you also change directions. one thing you want to be wary of is that if you want to line up to shoot the enemy exactly, because if you undershoot, then you push the button and you go the opposite direction and you run straight into the enemy, killing yourself. So it's funny because I played this game, like it's a very short game, or not short game, but I played it for only 9 points. I played it from like 30 minutes to an hour. But there are some tricks that I found. There's some tricks that I found. Like, so a good example is that you can go, if you go to the right side or the left side, it brings you into a mirror image, bringing you to the other side.
Yes, Pac-Man style.
With that, yeah, Pac-Man style. That's the best way to really explain it. But here's the thing: is that if you go all the way past into the left wall, and then you keep button matching, and you keep pushing, you can literally stay completely off the screen because you're going between the two sides.
My fault here, folks. You can see all the downloads I've been doing. I'm trying to show you a screenshot of all this. Oh, God, it's going chaotic. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second here, folks. Bam, you guys are back. Damn. Here, all of this, you know what? This is a message from the universe right now, because you know what I was trying to do that entire time? I was trying to show a screenshot of my score, which was 934.
Are you serious?
Oh my
sure.
gosh.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
job.
See it here. I'm gonna do it.
No
You know
way.
what? I'm just gonna put it on the screen.
934? Yeah, right.
934.
Let me just.
You should play it now. If you can't play it now, Michael, and you don't get to at least 800, then
Bam.
you're lying.
Okay, it's on the screen right here.
If you can make it to 100, that's impressive. Like,
Okay, after everybody doesn't know what we're talking about with all my glitches yet, but they'll see it momentarily.
Oh my god.
So yes,
It's actually happening.
this was
900.
Oh,
34.
everybody see
So
that?
you played for like 4 days straight then?
No, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna flex even harder. I think I only played this game for maybe 4 hours or so. Like that score, I think I got 2 hours into it.
Crazy. That is insane.
I will say I tried to replicate it the yesterday, and I played some more, and I was capping out at 600, and I couldn't get any further.
600.
Yeah.
600.
We're talking about 9.
Oh my
20.
god.
Right, I feel proud of my little 12. You just
Right.
12.
Right.
Y'all?
I don't know what to say.
Nah, nothing's
Let
up.
me sit
I'm
down.
gonna sit over here.
So I think here, thank you guys, I appreciate it. So I think what the big key was, after a while, not only getting in the flow, but once you got in sector 4, you got a key bonus there that was a big multiplier, and I don't know exactly how the multiplier works. I don't know how big it is, but it really worked out. So I was able to get to sector 6. So I'm sure there's somebody else who's watching, which reminds me I need to update the stream, say we're watching this game, playing this game. But I'm sure somebody else would just watch me and be amateur for that. But I will say that the high score of the designer in the game, it says 990 there. So I was really hoping to be able to break his score.
So he got 990, and you got 900.
I'm sure he can go higher than 990. I believe you can go higher than that. I have to believe that's somebody else.
So
for everyone on the call,
Michael, why don't you?
this was not an easy game at all. This was not an easy
not
game.
in the slightest. I didn't know that I was going to be playing Angry Birds' great-grandchild this weekend. I did.
Angry Birds great-grandchild.
I felt like I was playing Angry Birds all over. Not Angry Birds, Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird. There you go.
Yes.
Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
I felt like I was playing Flappy Bird.
Yes.
I really did. It was crazy.
I love it.
Holy smokes.
I love it. Yeah. I really love this one. You obviously.
So
Yeah.
Michael, take a step back. Can you explain to us why you were able to get from 10 points to 100? Because I feel like
Yeah.
the game mechanic itself, it's an odd game, but it's the more power-ups that you get, the easier the game gets. And once you get to that, and I think hopefully it shows it in the trailer, every time you pick up one of those coins, your attack bullets become
Bigger.
much bigger, much stronger. So 1 to 3, it's just the size, but then it becomes a double shot. So it's 2 of them that spread out,
Yeah,
and then
I
it
think
becomes
it's
3.
Yep.
Yeah, once it gets to 3, the game actually is not that's when you can actually go in from that, from the 10 points into the 100, because you're pretty much just going left and right and nothing is coming down. So that's probably But like, is that like what you did?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can see. I didn't get the 934 on stream. So if you watch me, I don't even know what my top score was on there. I was totally like, dying early on, and there's still some runs where I'll die like, without even killing anybody. So it's I'm not by no means an expert in this, but I will say,
don't be humble now, man.
Well, I want to actually stream it again. I might stream it again like tomorrow or something, just to like, because I think it would be kind of cool to talk about. I mean, one is like getting that delicate like little balance of like the tap tap. It's like the finesse in the hands. You know what I mean? Like when you start like, when you think about it, like,
I got it.
you got it now. Smokey's like, I got the moves right now. Yeah, no, it's like
got the moves.
When you're double tapping it, right? Like that is essentially the same thing as stabilizing in place. So if you do a little delicate tap, like that sort of thing, that helps. But then also just ensuring that you're definitely you got to go for those coins. The other things hopefully you all noticed is when the yellow coins come down, if you miss them, it actually downgrades your power. So it's like a bigger thing. It's not that you just missed out on it, you actually get a downgrade. And to Amar, your point, once you get to like, if you get like your first power up, I think is just a stronger shot. Like then like I think the third way is like a double shot, 4-way is triple shot. Once you're at triple, you're like golden. But here's one thing you guys can all see in the trailer towards the end when you get the fully powered up shot, it's like a death ray. But then the sides of the screen over time get this reddish. Like hellish kind of thing that slowly encloses the screen. That is a place where you can get a hell of a lot of points. Because if you purposely miss the coin, then you can just let the screen close in further. And by closing further, it also means the enemies are more packed. And so you can just like pick up your multiplier more. And then the boss is, once you get the pattern on the boss is hella fun. I think is really good.
Hey, Amar, are you implying, Amar, that you got above 100? Or is that?
Yeah, Amar's trying to talk to me as if he like isn't an expert himself. Amar, tell him your score.
Is he? I don't know. Yay.
Humble, half as humble as you, Michael. I got to 550, and then
it's still good.
Then I had to stop and play the other games because this game was just my favorite. And you can also get it on mobile. I was actually playing it on mobile. I don't even know why I have to show you, but yeah. I love it this much. You guys can see yourself as well.
Play it on mobile.
How does that play?
I would have more fun with it on mobile.
You think so?
I don't know why. I do.
Yeah, probably would.
I think so as well. I think that I'd have a lot more fun on mobile.
So and to get it on mobile, it's included, so you can just get it from the same HIO. You just have to get the file and download it, and
nice.
You can set it up that way. So it's included. So if you got it from the bundle, I forgot the name of it. Then it's included in it. I didn't like it on mobile as much. I like the tactile feel of the either my keyboard or my controller. But no, I played the game a lot, and it's on Monday. That's the only game that I played because I said I'll play all of the games, and I just ended up playing this. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop and go to bed and I'll play the other games and then come back to this but yeah, like I get why it is frustrating and it feels like going to 100 is a lot because you start really weak. You start with like the weakest bullets, and you have to get the first 3 coins before the game starts. So while I did get to 500, there has been so many times when I would just die immediately, one after another, because oddly, it's so hard when you're just going in fresh. But then the more you play, kind of like Michael explained earlier, the easier kind of get because you have more bullets and you can just kind of stay there and just kind of keep multiplying that way.
Yeah.
I did get to the boss. I didn't beat the boss, and the boss is in level 5. So you can 4, okay, yeah. You go in from one section to another by collecting these coins, and when you fill up your meter at the top, then you go into the next sector. It has a really cool, almost like story where there's the commander telling you that you made it. But no, I love this game a lot, and I even didn't like other arcade games that are super punishing, even Super Hexagon. I didn't get far in that because I just felt like I was dying so much. This one, once I got to a rhythm, I felt like I got better on it. So it's almost like a skill. And then when I played it on mobile, I didn't get far with it, but I still got to 200 with it.
Nice.
And it is really quick on mobile. It's such a fun game. And I want to mention also that
I was
this game was
also with as difficult as it was super addicting. Like you couldn't
Yeah.
not.
Oh yeah.
Like definitely give it another try. There's more to the game, and
sure.
you'll feel yourself hooked into this game. One side note, sorry, Michael. This game was also like the first time I seen it was on an actual physical arcade machine.
Yeah.
And it was a place that was in Florida called Glitch Bar, and people were just sitting on it, they were just playing nonstop, and you can tell why it's a perfect arcade game is because it was just one big button, and people would just like stand there with the beer in their hand. They would just like play it one game after another, and I was just waiting to play. That's why I told Michael like I want to get on this episode because this game has been on my like list for a real long time, and I never got to it.
Love it.
And now I understand why, and now I really love it. So it's really, really fun.
Love that. Yeah, Spokey, you were saying how addicting it was. Like,
Yeah.
how much time were you able to kind of sink into this one? And to Amar's point, did you like that the whole like subtle like story that each like person was like the last hope of humanity?
So I'm embarrassed. Like I said, I got my little 12. I was proud. But I played it for like maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just trying over and over and over
Yes.
again. And kind of like to Amar's point, I had a beer and then I had my button in my I used the controller.
Yeah.
But the names the names in a weird way for me, and it's probably because I didn't make it very far, were kind of discouraging. It's like, gosh, wow, you have like 80 million last humanity hopes, and I don't feel unique or special anymore. I blow up and you call in the next guy. That's cool, I guess.
It's like randomly generated names. It's like 4.
Yeah, that was cool.
You're the last.
I kind of got to a point where I was wondering if there was an end and I would see the same name again, but I don't think that I did.
Yeah,
ever.
I love that little humor touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Really
it's almost like a sports commentator more than it is a commander.
Yes, I agree. At one point, he's like, "I had money on you," or something like
that
when you died. Layla, how about you with your infamous rage meter? How would you describe this? Like how far are we going here in rage inducement?
I'd say a hard 7.
Nice. Okay.
I definitely, it was pretty bad. I only played for like a couple minutes. I don't even think I think I maybe played for like 30 minutes, possibly, because I was just. This one button! I only can use one button! It was really bad.
I feel you. I feel
like,
you
it just makes it so much more difficult. Especially, I just kept, like Tony was saying, I kept crashing into the battleships that I'm supposed to be killing, and it was just that one button feature made all of the difference in this game. Can you stop? It made all the difference. It made it just 10 times harder.
Where was your dog on last week's episode?
Play, clearly, they're like, "Why are you not paying attention?" Right. They were at my mom's being spoiled. So they're the cutest. They're pretty pups. They're Staffordshire pit bulls. This is Kane. The other one is Zero.
Hey, Kane,
and they
Zero.
need all the attention in the world.
Welcome to Indie Game Club. Also,
welcome to Indie Game Club. Right?
I also want to give a shout out. For some reason, I missed this earlier. Mystic, thanks so much for the bits. Really appreciate that. I don't know how I missed that on that. Thanks for all the love I'm seeing on the Facebook side of things. All the likes, shares. Really appreciate that very much. Quick question for you. Amar, you already answered it. Look at you being slick over there. Fort Lauderdale is the home of the Glitch Bar. Yeah, okay. Well, for the sake of time, I might need to move on a little faster than normal to the next game. Did anybody have anything more that they wanted to say about this one before we move on?
Not this one, but the developer is also working on multiple games. The latest one is like somewhat of like a turn-based sports style game that I'm following him on that. So check out if you like the idea, like this idea, like I don't know, like this art style, that kind of game. Definitely check him out on Itch.
Love it. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Matt Glanville for sure. Tony, do you have anything else you wanted to jump in here with?
No. It's an awesome. For some reason, it reminded me of this game called 1,000 Spikes on Xbox or something, where
I remember that game.
It's not punishing when you die. You know what I mean? It's very addicting. Very similar to someone else said. It's very addicting. When you die, it's not discouraging. You just pick it up and you just keep going. So, but it is definitely a very addicting game. That I got 9 points on.
We'll do a training session together all this weekend.
Right.
Well,
I'm down.
Courtney wanted to have a question, but I don't know if we have enough time. If we go a little past 9 today, is that okay? I want to be respectful of our crew here.
I'm down.
Oh yeah.
I see thumbs.
I'm good.
Tony Amar.
Yeah, my bedtime is until 9:30.
Gotcha. Love it. All right. All right. So
We know I don't have a bedtime.
Courtney, where are you at? Where are you at? Where's Courtney at? Let me see. Sorry, folks. Give me 1 second. All right. Courtney's back on deck with another question for us. So Courtney was wondering. I'm listening to her right now. Hold on, guys. Let me listen to everything she says and make sure I'm repeating it correctly. So, in honor of the fact that a lot of these games we're playing today are pretty music focused, I guess so far that we've done too.
Yeah.
Courtney's wondering if Indie Game Club has a theme song, or what we think a theme song should be for it. What do you guys think?
Eye of the Tiger. Eye of the Tiger.
Tony Tiger.
I don't know. Yeah.
I want some type of a DDR anime theme song.
Yeah.
For something like pixelated.
I love
But
it.
no. I don't know.
Allow me to throw a wrench. You guys remember that children's show, Out of the Box?
I don't think I do.
That's it.
Out of the box.
I do.
Out of the box. Oh my gosh.
I don't remember it.
I know the song now that you just mentioned it, but I cannot remember the heck out of that show.
That's
Like,
it.
I gotta go. That is so crazy.
Something along those lines, where it's just like a clubhouse
like
feel,
out of
everybody
the
comes
box,
together.
I
out
love
of the
that,
box.
Spooky. I'm gonna have to check that out because I feel like the greatest shows all have like singing in them. Golden Girls,
Yeah.
Living Single. You gotta have some like acapella singing in there. So maybe we can come up with something where we're all like Indie Game Club or whatever. We'll figure it out. But I think we can make it work. Spooky doesn't seem to be impressed with my singing.
Oh,
Okay,
I
I'll
sing
drop it.
all the time for no reason at all on my stream, so I'm super down.
Okay.
All the way for this.
Love it. Amar, how about you? Are you down to vocalize and harmonize with us when we do our rendition of Indie Game Club?
Every time I went to Potions of Pixels, I saw Evan's setup, and
Yes.
it was always people singing Queen. So I always associate
Yes.
just Queen songs with Potions of Pixels.
Yeah.
So it needs to be something in the same style
I love that.
of Queen.
That's a great point. And shout out to Evan, who I know was here at the top of the stream. I'm assuming I don't know if he's in here or not, but yeah, Evan laid it down. And he also had like at the end of the night when we're, hitting that midnight mark in some of those events, that closing time, all that good stuff. So we hit everything. So, okay. Well, you know what, Courtney, I'm going to let you know that we're going to work on it and we're going to get back to you. And if anybody else in the chat thinks of something, I love it.
I really appreciate you taking the time to put in some thought to this. I really think you guys need a theme song. It'll make the show so much better. Thank you so much for answering my question, everyone.
I love it. Courtney might be a regular fixture on the show.
She's the mascot.
Nomad
Courtney's the
Seg, I'll throw
mascot
some
now.
beats your way. Put together a barbershop quartet. I know we can vocalize. Can we do one like quick rendition of just saying Indie Game Club and trying to be in harmony? Can we give it a shot? Everybody ready? I don't know.
Do it.
Do it.
Give us a count.
All right, I'll
Bohemian
do.
Rhapsody. That's it. Yeah.
We should do what?
Bohemian Rhapsody, to the tune of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, like Indie Game
Indie
Club.
Game Club. They have
Okay.
the best guests.
Okay, let's do that. Indie Game Club, they have the best guests. All right, ready? I'll do 1, 2, 3, go. I don't know why I'm holding this like it's like my instinctual thing. Like, I'm like,
In the script,
all right, are we all ready? All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Indie Game Club, they have the best guests. Hold on, hit that high note for us one more time, Smokey. One more time.
I wasn't a high note. I'm trying to think of another part of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I think I butchered it. Sorry, folks. Back
In
to
Game Club, the best guest games and people. I don't know. That's all I got.
I love it. My personal preference would
That's
be
good.
to use the living single background music, and then we can have a singing part, and then we can have a Khadijah rap part as well. So,
I can do that part.
check it out.
Nice.
All right. Now that we have, now that we've put that out there into the universe, and it sounds like what's that? Yeah, Courtney is satisfied with that. Okay, cool. So we'll get back to you, Courtney. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all your questions here today.
Thank you for having me. You guys seem really good.
Courtney, you might need to go to a doctor.
I sounded like this when I first talked. My first word was "dada." It sounded exactly like this.
I'm a little worried for you there, Courtney.
Hey boys, want to play some games?
Shout out to our girl Courtney. Oh boy. Oh man. All right, guys. So the third game of the Faulty said, "Someone get Courtney some water."
It's Halls.
Yes.
It's Halls.
Exactly. I love it.
Courtney needs some lemon water.
Gonna get me some water. Can you just put a slice or two of cucumber in there? I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Why does she have that?
And a pack of smokes.
What is that like? Is that like a Long Island accent? What do you describe that as?
I don't know. So I work in IT as my day job, and I used to work with this wonderful, wonderful gentleman by the name of Brian. He actually moved into website dev after he left the job, so that's why he left. But neither here nor there. We were talking one day, and we were goofing around, and we were saying that if anybody calls in and needs help with something, that's how we should answer the phone, and just keep it up the entire time. So for the rest of the day, like, we didn't get any calls, but for the rest of the day, we were just doing that back and forth, and it was hilarious. So that's where I got it from. I guess Brooklyn would be the accent. Long Island, yeah, just an old Jewish lady with
a long cigarette.
Yeah, exactly.
The long cigarette.
You heard it here first. Indie Game Club roleplay episode coming soon.
Yes, Layla. Yes, we are gonna do it. Spokey's gonna be on deck with her Long Island diner.
I'd be more than happy to come on and be Phyllis for the evening.
Phyllis. That is definitely a Phyllis. All right, guys. If you like the idea of that, let us know in the chat. If you want us to do a episode in Phyllis and different characters, maybe we can all do a different American Girl. Oh, Faulty says, "Hey, I'm from Long Island. That's offensive." Oh, I'm sorry.
Faulty.
We love you, Faulty.
Love you, sugar. I don't mean any offense.
I'm sorry, Faulty. You're gonna have to come and you're gonna have to be a guest soon, and correct, get the record straight for us. Let us know for real.
Absolutely,
what we need to do. All right, and Scarlett's also saying, "All I can remember is that mother from SpongeBob."
Chocolate. Oh, sweet chocolate.
Exactly.
I love it. All right. Now we're going to go in a little bit of a different place. We're about to get a little bit cerebral. I might stop being as little jokey as I've been, because we're going to go to we're going to get a little meditative. Are y'all ready for that? I'm going to zip this back up a little.
I'm excited.
My favorite one.
Favorite one. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about this here. So let us now watch the trailer for our last game of the night, which is Far From Noise. Let's check this out right here. So that, everyone, was Far From Noise, as you can see there from George Batchelor. Before we talk about this, shout out to the Mage. Thanks so much for hosting. Appreciate that. Clap it up for the Mage. Really appreciate it. Not only because the Mage came through when we were streaming this game, really had a great conversation. And we should say shout out to not only Mage, but all the viewers as well, because on his channel, if you're not following it, you need to do that right now. They are making an RPG together, which is really cool. Ooh. So it was a perfect opportunity for us to talk about the writing in Far From Noise and also talk about the writing that they're doing in their game. So thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Indie Game Club. Really appreciate you being here, sending our love to you. Hopefully you'll like what you see, maybe follow, maybe check us out. We have a lot of fun here. We'd like to get in depth, dig into these games, and have a little fun at the same time. So hopefully you are down for that. All right, so this game, Far From Noise, I could read a bit of a description, but I'd like to toss it over to Layla. I know of the 3 games that you played. This seemed to be, is it fair to say this was your game of the week?
This was definitely my game of the week. It definitely was my favorite.
Yeah, can you tell us about give the audience an idea of what we're doing in this game? What is it like?
Okay, so this game, obviously well, spoilers are okay, obviously.
Yes,
I'm not going to go that far.
No, let's go with the spoilers. Go for it.
Okay, so in this game, you find yourself hanging on this cliff, like in a vehicle. So you've crashed, you got into an accident, and you are hanging on the edge of this cliff. And any sudden movements or whatnot, you will fall down this huge cliff down, and not even to the ocean, into some rocks. And I think it said that there was sand or something, rocks at the bottom. Pretty much you're gonna die if you fall.
Yeah.
And so the best part that I liked about this game was that in your panic, you finally calm down and you focus on the amazing scenery. The art was so good in this game. The colors were so beautiful. Even though it wasn't super in detail, it didn't need to be because it was just beautiful the way that it was in the scenery. And you find yourself in this meditative state, focusing on the horizon, focusing on the ocean, on the plants around you. And it's just very tranquil. And in the panic, you're finding the beauty in things, in nature, in having this peace of mind and peace within you as you're playing. And you even I forgot I was even hanging on the edge of this cliff. And it just brought you to this place of meditation, and it hit me so hard, and I enjoyed it so much because that is my whole thing, vibe outside of me raging. It is mental health. They teach you grounding techniques. They teach you all these things that you can use in your daily life to separate yourself from all the panic that's going on in your daily life, and let you really realize that your stressors are outside of what life really means. Yes. And that's kind of why I loved it so much. My chat was even this game is so perfect for you. Why is this your whole personality? The dialogue was so on point for me. Because I even found myself saying things before the character even said them. So it's just, for me, mental health is so important. And I feel you accidentally fall into this place where you are actually taking the time to take care of yourself. And without even knowing that you're doing it, just by playing this game. And that's why I loved it so much. It just came naturally. So I definitely check this game out. This is a 10 for me. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental. This is definitely a good way to do that without knowing you're doing it.
Yeah, no, great points. As soon as I was finished with it, I actually went back to your stream and watched you did a review afterward, where you just sat there to the camera and talked about it. And I totally feel you on all those points, and I want to talk about the ending because I know that's something you have thoughts on. Spokey, what about you? What did those elements resonate with you? What are your feelings about this game?
This game was so cathartic in the best of ways for me. I'm gonna try to say things that Layla didn't already touch on because it was the same. It was very same experience. The music, the scenery, the dialogue. I found myself saying things or thinking things before they became options, and it was just like being able to follow in that, especially when I sat down to play it because I was kind of dealing with some personal issues. It was very, very therapeutic, and 10 out of 10. Will definitely be playing again whenever I'm stressed out. Much like Layla, mental health on my stream, I'm a big advocacy for it. I try to create a place where people can come in the chat and vent, and we can kind of talk to them and comfort them. Even with that being said, I'm glad I didn't stream it on my first playthrough because to me it was such a personal, powerful experience. It was a really, really relaxing, really great game, and I came away from it feeling better. Like Layla said, they have the breathing techniques, the different things that you go through that you experience through the game, and I found myself doing them along with the game.
Yep,
me too. I came away feeling so at peace and so much better. I would highly, highly recommend this game to anybody that can get access to it and play it. It was an amazing experience. It was beautiful, and 10 out of 10. Yeah, like this is probably by far my favorite game out of the 3.
I love that. And what's wild is if you all like watching the trailer and listening to what Layla set the stage with by saying you were on a cliff dangling between life and death. I don't think if you're watching this, you would necessarily associate that feeling with what Spokey and Layla said, right? The whole idea of this sounds like a potential nightmare, and yet it's very calming, meditative, therapeutic, all the words you use to describe it. We should say that the game is set almost exclusively in this one scene, right? There's some subtle camera differences. There's definitely some cool effects that we want to talk about, but the whole game is set there. I got to be honest, and I'd love to, I want to bring Tony and Amar here for this. I got to be honest, when I was like picking these games, I think Emmy and I chose this one. I'm trying to remember how we did it, but I was a little concerned when I was digging into it that this was like 90 minutes of the same scene and that you guys were going to be like, oh God, this is boring, which is far from the case. So
it didn't even feel like it, to be honest.
Yeah.
At all. Like the feeling of panic when it first started out, because I watched the trailer just now and I'm noticing that things are different. There is some subtle differences.
Yep.
But I had a windstorm hit my car, and that tightening feeling in your chest, and then coming down from that, like it didn't feel like 90 minutes. If that's how long the game was, I couldn't tell you. It was amazing.
That is awesome to hear. Tony, Amar, what are your thoughts about this?
I'll go in first here. What I enjoyed, I think, a lot about this, and I guess the way the storytelling is made is it was really cool to see. Like, I feel like it's only in video games when you can see something like this, where like you actually have the interactive medium of like interactive storytelling. But the extra thing that I felt like this game did is, and maybe other things did it as well, but what I felt is when you have a friend who is telling you about something, and as they are talking and telling that story, you are in your mind kind of like thinking about things that happen in your own life. So while, it sounds hopefully not sounding like very too artsy here, but it's like I was putting on those options and almost like reflecting on what I was doing in my own life, like things that I was doing in my own life. And having the multiple, like, while they were a little bit smaller, having those multiple options with some of the questions almost made it more intimate, I guess, in a way. Well, like, it was, it was like almost like hearing someone talking, and then at some point, like almost like bringing back the conversation and almost like, bringing it more to about, what my experience is as well as the one that is being told in this, on a monitor, on a screen. So that's what I think enjoyed the most. And yeah, it's like the whole like life flashes in front of your eyes kind of thing. I mean, luckily I didn't experience it, but I can, seeing things that you just didn't think about. And I mean, I feel like it's not until you are, I mean, sorry, but like it's like recently we had this, I think, with when COVID came in and it kind of made us realize what is important in our lives, and we started like thinking about, do our job matters, like how, now that, we have this possible, world-ending event of like, like a this happening, I feel like everyone kind of like started like kind of like take this moment to kind of like start thinking about, what is important to them. And that's a feel I think this game translated quite well, of like being able to like, focus, breathe, like giving you multiple options sometimes, and, trying to like, like focus on the small things that are around you, like, I mean, I know my neighborhood, but like I don't know the things, in my neighborhood. I don't know some of the people, right? So having that moment to just like be like, okay, stop. Let's see, like every minute matters here, and so on. That felt beautiful. Even having like, like an animated squirrel come by, that felt beautiful. That felt like something that is just, while we all saw that it was just an animated, like script or code or whatever, that had a emotional feeling to it. It's like, okay, the screen was all frozen. Okay, we just had like this moving thing, just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And it didn't do anything out of the ordinary. And of course, things like some more things happen going forward. That all of that just felt beautiful, and it kind of made you like, kind of like reflect and almost like enjoy the moment that you are in.
That's a great point, Amar. And I think adding on to that, I think the game was a masterclass in pacing and not overdoing it. Because again, for those who are watching, this whole game takes place in one scene, but you slowly, over time, the sun sets, the wind, the rain, the fireflies, birds, but it's not overused, it's not overdone. They're keeping up with the dialogue itself changes a lot in terms of like the pacing, to the point where, again, I think I just can't like stress this enough. At the beginning of the game, you're just like, oh shit, will I survive or not? By the end of the game, I'm thinking about all sorts of things. And then to I think what Layla and Spokey both said, it's like I'm not even caring at that. Like my focal point is not my main mission isn't even about survival as much anymore, as much as it is thinking about these deeper topics. So it is a masterclass in design in that regard. Tony, how did this resonate with you, my friend?
Yeah. There was definitely some themes in there that I probably looked way too much into it, into some of the dialogue. Like one of the biggest, there's a few themes in it, like, hey, should I die or should I not? Should I do this action or should I not? How did I get there? So that's probably question number 2. Like, how did I get there, or how did I get to this point? And then the third point is probably like, how do I leave, or how do I get away? The one thing that I really wanted to, and I wasn't sure if this was probably a theme that they were looking into, but something I sort of saw is perception is reality. Right. The idea is that, was any of this real? Like, was any of this real? When you start looking at the animals that actually come, and how the person, like, first of all, it had to distinguish whether it was just that individual in the car, me by myself, or was there more than one person? So you have to really look at the dialogue to understand that the guy is really speaking to himself. And then the second thing is that
actually.
as these
I was gonna say
it was a woman, actually.
Oh, it was a woman. Yeah. So, another thing is that as these animals come into the actual scenery, you start realizing that you're giving human character traits to these animals, or personification to them.
Yeah.
Like, you're sitting there You're
Yeah.
sitting there trying to give characteristics to a squirrel, and I could be wrong about this, but I think the only animal that actually speaks is the moose, right? The squirrel, the owl. Like, I don't think, does the owl
Papa
speak?
Stag.
Huh?
I call him Papa Stag.
Papa Stag.
Yeah, the Papa Stag. Yeah.
I think you're
so
right,
like,
Tony. Yeah.
So it really makes you start thinking, first of all, because the number one questions you start asking yourself is like, how the heck did I get here? Right?
Yeah.
How did I know Layla said that it was a car accident, but I didn't hear that directly, that, hey, it was a car accident. In fact, at one point, the person said, in the options that I chose, they said, hey, I went to college to become an architect, and I came here to observe, I guess, the scenery for whatever they plan on doing. So I didn't get the impression that they swerved off the road and just landed on the cliff. And then that's a question. And then just overall, like I said, there's a lot of questions that come up into this game to actually makes you think like, is this real? Like, is this
great
real? Is this person really here, or are they're probably in their bed sleeping, or you know what I mean? Or they're probably
Having a dream.
going through a crisis, like a moment,
they're
like
or having a mental breakdown. Like you had like 3 animals come up to you. There's a talking moose. You know, like none of them decide to like. And you notice some of the dialogue as you're speaking to these animals, as you're speaking to the squirrel. That squirrel is not really responding to you. So it's like, and then you name the squirrel. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions that have me think like, is this even real? You know what I mean? This could just be like a dream.
Spokey.
I didn't get a squirrel. I
didn't get to name the squirrel either.
I didn't get a squirrel at all, guys.
Interesting.
I got a turtle.
Oh, really?
Turtle.
I got a turtle and a badger.
I got
What?
And I believe
Wow.
a frog. There was a frog.
I got
Hold on, let's
I got
go through
4
all the
animals.
animals
A
real
squirrel.
quick. So did everybody saw the stag? A deer, right? A stag.
Yeah, I saw the
Okay.
stag.
Yeah, stag deer. Yeah. That's the one you're talking about.
And then there was, I guess there were some birds that flapped out of the tree. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
I
But
honked
you
my
never
horn.
named. You never
Yeah.
gave them a name.
There was a squirrel.
You never named them.
Owl. Did everybody see the owl?
I saw
Did see
that.
the owl.
What?
I didn't see the
Yeah.
owl.
Did see the owl.
All right, Spokey, I gotta hear
Dude.
because you said you saw a turtle
Oh.
and a badger. I'm
I
intrigued.
saw a turtle, and I got a story from her childhood about how. I'm sorry, it was a tortoise. The stag corrected me actually. And I got a story from her childhood about how she was bit by a turtle, so she wasn't happy at first
Really?
seeing a turtle, and then you make peace with it because there's a frog that comes along, and then later it was a honey badger. Like it's crazy. I didn't even realize that there were different options for animals. That's amazing.
To me, it was squirrel, that the deer thing we want to talk about, the owl, and the tortoise. I never physically saw it. They mention it, but maybe it must have been an option that I said that I never physically saw it on screen.
I physically saw the tortoise and the honey badger. It's crazy.
Wow.
That is wild to think about. I'm just making sure we're good on the stream. Someone said they lost it. I think we're still good. Making sure. Yeah, I think we're still good here.
That's working.
Yeah.
Okay. Darts of Bubble, hopefully you'll get back on soon. I know Darts of Bubble will watch the stream, and he also had a comment that he did some good reading on the meaning of the animals that come up. Darts of Bubble, if you are back, it looks like you are. Please,
put those in there.
elucidate. We want to hear that. I want to hear what about the meanings. I know you were talking about that. Darts of Bubble was saying like the animals or significance of it, I guess, based on like kind of like folklore and other things. So that would be interesting.
Now here's a question.
Did you get the option to name your car?
I did.
Yes, Carlos.
Okay.
Yeah, I chose Carlos.
Okay.
Paula. Now here's the question. How much did you guys find out about the character? Eventually, later on the line, I ended up finding out that their father chose the wallpaper in their house or something like that. It was something weird. Like they started talking about, they referenced their dad and how the dad chose a wallpaper in their house.
I got dad references, but it wasn't wallpaper. It was camping, and jokes, I think, is what I got.
What jobs did everyone? What studies did everyone pick? Because I think that might have something to do with
That's a good point.
College student at studying architecture. So college student studying architecture.
I did film as well.
I think architecture for me.
I did marine biologist.
Okay.
So we covered all 3 here in the group. I love it.
Yeah.
And so we all got a little bit of a different experience. It does make me want to jump to talking a bit about the ending, if we can go there. Again, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Just letting our audience
You don't know.
that we are.
Spoiler alert, there's no real answer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and it's like, we should probably say this. This is common when we do these spoiler alerts. Even if you know the ending, this is not one of those games. It's the journey, right? I think it's safe to say
It is absolutely
definitely in the
You can't read this game's plot on Wikipedia and just be like, oh, now I get it. Not at all. So let's go into the ending there. Does somebody want to describe what happened with the ending? I'm almost wondering if we might have had different endings potentially here, but
I had the ending. I'm trying to think of really where the story. Yeah, the owl was there. The owl flew away. But overall, my ending was that it fades to black, and you don't really know if they pulled off or if they fell off the cliff.
Yeah.
Which this
That's
whole
what I
time,
thought, yeah.
this whole time, they keep saying, "Am I gonna die? Am I?" I'm like, dude, I think this deer is about to ram you, like, or something, because they constantly asking the same question, like, "Am I gonna die? Am I gonna fly off the cliff?" I'm like, dude, I don't know, but I thought the deer was gonna ram them, but you start end up talking to an owl. The owl flies away. And then it fades to black, and you're not really sure if they fell or if they drove back.
I love
one thing that you think that are, so here's some hints, here's some clues. That the reason why I don't think they drove away, because in my playthrough they tried to start up the car twice and it was unsuccessful. And in fact, they couldn't reverse the first time. If you notice, the car wheels was heavily lifted off the ground. I know this is again like way too analytical, but the wheels were off the ground. So it's like, do I think that somehow they were? And there's another thing is like, why have they tried just like climbing through the back trunk or something, or just climbing through the back seat? But
this is what I was thinking for that. If I was in there in real life, I would just like do one of these maneuvers where I'm just like crying, like leaning back, trying to shift my weight over there. Hoping I'd be crying so hard, y'all. I'd be like, oh please,
literally,
please, dear, carry me home.
I would have fell off the side already.
Scary.
I would have wailed all over the place.
Yeah, no, that was totally wild. I know, Layla, when I watched your when you recapped the game and reflected on it, you had some mixed feelings on the ending. Can we talk a bit about that? And I wonder if your thoughts have changed since Friday when you played it.
Yes. So whenever I got to the ending, I was very shocked. But as because I wanted a final ending, that's what I always look for, is the final ending. Like, what did my choices end up being? And now I feel like my choices didn't really matter in dialogue, because I was very like, let's stay positive, guys. Like, let's stay positive. We're gonna stay positive through this whole thing, right? That's the way to get out. But whenever it did the scene where you don't know if they drove off or if they fell off, I was like, well, you know what? That's actually pretty cool, because after the whole meditation state and like you going through this whole journey with this game, it's like you decide.
Yes.
You get to decide what your perception was. Like, did you fall off the side? Like, were you ready to die at that moment? Like, was that your ending? You to make peace and be done, or did you make the decision to live and keep pushing on? And I think that was very hitting for me, was because you do just like you when you really sit back and look at things in your life and self-evaluate and do all of that, it's like you are the one who makes the decision whether to keep going or to not. And me, I'm very big on mental health and suicide awareness and all that stuff. Like, it really hits for someone who has gone through these struggles, because it's like it's in the end, it is you who decide. Like, obviously not like an accident where nothing's out of your control, but in a situation you have to look at things, or you don't have to, but in my mind, you have a choice. You always have a choice. And that's where it gave you the choice of what you thought happened. Like, what did you want to happen? And it lets you do that. And that's why I end up loving so much about the ending in the end, after I got to like really reflect on it.
I love that. Absolutely. I got a couple of things here connected with that. Darsa Bulba's talking about spirit animals. There are pages on each one of those. The deer, gentleness, and also a pool to a new adventure. Owl, silent wisdom, and vision into the night and the darkness within. Mystic, shout out Mystic. Appreciate you. Guest on last week's show. She said, I love how deep the game topic is. So many questions. Absolutely. Darsa Bulba again saying squirrel, activity and preparedness, points to being overactive and the need for balance. And Johnny's saying, squirrel. After I get a controller working, I apparently need to check out the game. I think you can play it just fine with. I played it with mouse. I should say.
I use the mouse.
I would suggest the controller, because the controller itself vibrates in a couple of moments.
Yeah.
So if you want to get that extra
I did not know
feeling out of the game, so Yeah,
I
I was using the
controller plugged in, and yeah, the first time it vibrated, it surprised the hell out of me because I was using my mouse.
Yeah.
Same.
I love that.
So I had to
Okay.
switch. So yeah, same thing.
That's really cool. Spokey, what are your thoughts about the ending? Do you think there's a kind of conclusion, a takeaway? Do you think it was real, like this whole experience? What's your top takeaway of like what the message was for everything here? I know that's a lot to ask.
In terms of in the game, in story, I do think it was real.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I took away from my playthrough. After some extensive conversation with the stag, decided that this was Death that she was speaking with from outside of the car. I think my character even asks at one point, "Are you Death?" And the stag responds, "I am what you need me to be in this moment." So very ethereal, kind of middle of the road. As far as the ending, I kind of have two. They kind of conflict. I have two stances. My personal stance is I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I was so at peace that it doesn't. I was comfortable with either conclusion, whether the car fell or backed away to try again at life. I was okay either way, personally.
Interesting. Yeah.
But just based on the talking points and things within the game that I got, that brief exchange about whether or not the stag is actually an angel, an agent of death. The stag walks away towards the end. And, the characters, where are you going? Where are you going? And stag doesn't respond. And then shortly after that, she tries to start the car again. And then that's when it kind of fades out where you can't see.
Yeah.
You don't hear any sound other than the attempts at starting the car. I also tried twice previously. Tony, but it was just silence, and then when it came back the car was gone. So based on the exchange that I had, and then the fact that if the stag is in fact Death represented in this game, you walked away from me instead of waiting for everything to be done so you could ferry me on to the next ethereal plane. So I think she left and went back to school.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that too. I
that.
definitely love that.
This is, I gotta honestly say, this is like doing this show every week. It's one of the most fun things. It's something I look forward to every week, and it also makes me super excited when the guests like you will always come with like your A game and come with these interpretations that like later on I leave and like after this I'll be thinking about all that stuff and I'll be like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even think about it from that perspective or whatnot. So, very much appreciate that. Faulty Code Gamer is saying very analytical, Spokey. Amara right here saying, LOL, got to soak all the sensory feels. Hey, Lady Saya, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it so much. Any other thoughts about the ending? Amara, were you thinking that this actually happened or not? Or, again, does that matter? Yeah, Tony, you want to jump in?
Tony.
Yeah. I don't know why, but this sort of reminded me of Fight Club. Like, not like the actual, no, but the idea of speaking to oneself. The idea of speaking to oneself, completely having an entire conversation, fictitiously making up items. Yeah, animals that, I mean, literally you're naming the animals, and apparently one of them was speaking to you. So that's why I had this conclusion, like, did this even happen? Like, did this, is this real? You know what I mean?
That's a good point. A shout out for the Fight Club reference. If anybody watched our very first episode in honor of Fight Club and of course our name being Indie Game Club, I made my corny joke about the first rule of Indie Game Club is you have to talk about Indie Game Club.
Yeah.
Anyway, crickets were chirping. Let's just put it that way. But I like the joke. Dad jokes are in. Amar, what about you, my friend?
So, I'm probably the minority in this side here, where I'm the one who didn't beat the game.
It's all good.
So,
tell us why.
It's not a hot take actually, because I think after hearing what Tony has, like, I think what I got out of this game is the the conversation with self in a way. I think when I played this game, I actually. Like none of the stuff that I was seeing, the view, the actual car, the deers. I felt like all of these were just in a way just there for someone to have a discussion with themselves about this topic. And I think I've probably got to really close to the end, and I should have probably just beat the game, honestly, because I feel kind of bummed now, like because I didn't finish it. But no, like so yeah, that's kind of like the feeling that I got out of the game is like the like all of these questions, all of these snippets of Taco was just one and self. I didn't really interpret anything with the car. I felt actually like that whole scene is almost. That's the hot take here. A little bit cartoonish in a way, like the whole car being stuck is not a thing that I don't know how realistic that is for a car to be stuck in that place. But also, it's a metaphor for being at that experience of like near death, right? Or at the very least, being stuck in a really hard place.
Yeah,
and I think,
or I would say a turning point potentially as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like So I mean, and so that is what I liked about the game, and that is also probably I don't know. I guess I felt uncomfortable with myself to a point where I had to go to sleep. But no, I remember just like sitting down and just clicking the options, like I said earlier, like the squirrel and and having the deer, and almost in a way it's turning into like this dreamlike situation where you think this is the reality that you are seeing right now with being stuck in the car. Okay, that's where you think you are, and then the deer comes in, and it's like, wait, so maybe none of this is real because now you are talking to a deer, and so on. So I didn't see it, and again, I didn't see a person inside the car, so the association didn't click with me, and I don't know. I guess maybe it was late at night as well, and I was just thinking about my own life more than I was thinking about playing a game. Honestly, I don't have anything like, even though that's a hot take earlier, I have nothing negative about this game. I mean, I didn't beat it, and if I get back to it, I'll continue to finish it. It's beautiful and everything. But I think my self experience it had a high impact on how I played this game, and as I was playing it, kind of like we were talking earlier, was it like someone made the joke about the sewer rats being like a therapy? I feel like this was the therapy for me, where I felt it got me to a point where I was like, okay, I'm maybe a little bit uncomfortable here, and I guess at that point I didn't enjoy it as much, and I was like, okay, not what I want right now, and I just went to sleep. So.
I will say a couple things about that. No, I really appreciate you sharing that, because I mean, one of the most fun things about the show as well is that we don't just all have the exact opinion every week. Different games resonate with different people. Different parts of the game resonate with different people. So I love talking about that. The other part that I really like what you said, Amar, is that there have been plenty of different pieces of art, whether it's film, music, games, that I have watched or interacted with, and maybe I didn't get at this given moment, or I really liked at this given moment, and then at a different point in my life, based on the experiences I was going through, it changed, right? In both total directions, right? In both total directions.
Yeah.
Some cases, something you love, then you revisit and you're just like, how did I like this? But I think that's something important to be said about too. And I always feel that way when kind of even looking at reviews and everything. I feel like it says a lot about the reviewer, or it says a lot about it says maybe more about the reviewer than it does even the games itself. So I definitely
and again, there's nothing I can point out to say that this game is not good. I can't say like there's any mechanic or anything. I mean, it's a beautiful game. It's a great story. It's great dialogue, and great interaction, even amazing font that they use. There's nothing I can point out and be like, I don't like this game, right? it is the pure I just
that's totally
struggled going through it. Yeah, it didn't grab me as probably grabbed other people. What I got out of it was not what other people in here sound like they got out of it. So
I feel you on that.
Anyway.
And the other thing about that too is, for those watching too, I imagine there's other people who can have similar perspectives about a lot of these games. Again, this game, if you're watching this is not an action-packed game. This is a dialogue game, exactly as we said, between you and on the cliff and the edge of a cliff, having conversation, as the trailer said. So, but hopefully by listening to this, it may be worth something to check out potentially and see if you might be interested. Tony, what you got?
No, I was sitting there thinking, we're all sitting there, spoiler alert. We're all talking about spoiler alerts. I'm like, dude, the trailer pretty much said everything that was happening in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, it's not something I think you can spoil.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Much to Amar's point, it's about you. This game finds a way to make it about you. You are the main character. This is
Great
your
point.
experience for the time that you're going through it. And I don't think any of us came away with the same impression. Like, why we can all agree that we liked it to some capacity, it's for different reasons.
Yeah.
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 So it sounds like overall, this is one that we'd recommend.
How
people
long
to
did
at
it
least-
take you to finish the game? Just to kind of, because that might
For
give
me,
people
2
some
hours.
perspective. 2
For
hours,
me,
okay.
exactly
then.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was like in the I think it was probably for me about 2 hours. I want to say like the 90 minutes of actual play. We started talking in tangents on our stream and having a good time talking about all sorts of things. But yeah, probably in that range. Layla, Spokey, what about y'all?
I don't know. I literally lost track of
I
time,
love
but
that.
if I had to guess, it was maybe an
Wow.
hour and a half.
That's awesome.
Maybe.
I love that.
Same, yeah. I don't know how long actually. Like you'd have to look at my VOD to know how long.
Yeah,
it actually
like,
took
he
me
has
to-
the ability to go back and look. I didn't stream it. I didn't record it. I
Yeah.
just sat down and played, and it was just really cool. Like, there's so many metaphorical pieces to it. Like, the car in and of itself is a metaphor. It's a representation of feeling trapped in a situation that you can't escape.
Oh, I
Like,
love that.
It's crazy.
Yes.
I don't know. I really liked it. I'm fawning over it, but yeah.
I love that. No, I love that specific piece as well. And I should also say one thing I loved about the writing that I wasn't immediately clear from just by watching the trailer is that this game is actually pretty funny. Like, there's a level of humor there that I wasn't expecting. And to be honest, that was probably the thing that surprised me and excited me the most, is going into this experience. I was ready for some heavy stuff just looking at it. And then with the levity of the writing, the humor, talking to the stag, there were some really nice moments in the game that lightened it up a bit. So I will throw that out there.
Stuff you
I feel
wouldn't
the same
expect
way.
to be laughing at or smiling about while you dangle on the edge of a cliff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
And I think that was a good
So-
way to be able to deliver some of these more deeper meditative elements, because the whole game kind of caught you off guard in a certain way. And with that masterful pacing, with the atmosphere and the conversation, you didn't know exactly what to expect, and it really held your hand and guided you.
I definitely thought the deer or staff or whatever was gonna knock over the car. I definitely thought.
I did when I
was like,
first
dude,
saw it come to. I was like,
dude,
oh my god, there was this
okay.
windstorm and now there's a deer here. He's gonna push this car. I'm gonna
No, it's
die.
definitely
I'm not
not
even gonna
car.
make it through the game. I messed. I thought it was a mistake at first,
But
that
then
I
it started. But the deer or whatever, it's the only animal that you have a full on blown conversation with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
True. The squirrel actually, I don't know if it did for y'all. It jumped on the car, and I started
Yeah,
freaking
it
out.
did.
I was like,
Think so,
"Excuse
yeah.
me, don't
But
do
it didn't
that."
do it. Yeah.
I know the owl did for me too.
The
Owl
owl,
did,
yeah, the owl did too. And I
Yeah.
was like, all these animals are sitting here trying to kill me, but they look so cute. I don't understand.
I was trying to
But,
yell to the animals and be like, all of y'all get on the trunk, to level it down a bit so I can crawl out this.
I thought
I was
the
yelling.
stag was gonna do it at some point. Was gonna walk over and just hooves on the back so I could just reverse.
Yeah.
But it.
That's gonna be the sequel. Far From Noise 2. Back with a vengeance.
Michael, I wanna bring it back to the meme that you shared earlier about the $10 per game,
Let's
too
do it.
expensive, and the Madden. This is a perfect example on how you cannot measure a game by the number of hours that you would play.
Great
Because
point.
while you might play this one for 2 hours or an hour and a half, what I would say the efficiency of that hour is so high up there that it is worth so many hours that you might spend grinding on an RPG or doing something else. It is one of those
Not
experiences
even
that you can
that.
play on
With
one
this
weekend.
specific one, I would definitely play it again if I was having a bad day or stressed out about something. This would be something that I would crack open again and just kind of deflate and escape for a little while. So even if it was like an hour and a half, yeah, you can't put a price tag on it. Honestly, you're right.
That's a great point. We should say this is also available on. This is available on PC, PS4. I'm just checking. I want to say, was it also on mobile? I normally have this all right in front of me, but I'm dealing with so many windows. I believe it may be on iPad mobile platforms as well. And it retails for $7.99. It's interesting though, folks. It is interesting, Amar. I'm glad you mentioned that because I popped up the meme again. I would honestly say though that there is a significant amount of people who would honestly say this isn't worth $8, and maybe that's just a question for our culture and some opportunities to be critical. But Tony, what do you got on that?
I think it's what you make of it. I think it's what you make of it. I mean, when you really boil it down, there was only technically two characters, people characters. There was 3 animal characters. You technically didn't know a whole lot about yourself, or there was, or even how you got there. In fact, there was a question over and over again of how you got there. I think it's really just based off a person's taste. I think this game was heavily involved into you making your own story. Like you chose the dialogue, but then in your mind and in your head, you implied certain things that would essentially create the story for yourself, for sure.
Yeah, and so that's what's interesting. Like I don't know how to put this one. Amar, I'm glad you asked that question and what you said there, Tony, what you make of it, because unfortunately, like, to be honest, if Scumbag Steve here came up to me, he opened my door right now. This is like the second
okay.
And he was like, yo, I just got done with like Madden, 2047, and I'm looking for an indie game. I don't know if this might be the one I would necessarily recommend. I don't know if I'm being hipster or elitist about this, but I also feel like this might be for a select audience. This might be like an indie game club. Like,
yeah,
you got to be like ready for this. Am I sounding like a douchebag with that or no?
No.
No, totally.
Expectations in check. Yeah,
I get what you're saying too. Yeah.
My hot take.
I feel like
it's for everybody. They just don't know it.
Yeah. Hey, Smokey, say that one more time.
Yes.
Say that one more time.
This game is for everybody. You just don't know it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yo, that needs to be like the quote on the trailer right there. Seriously,
right.
That's a great way of putting it.
It is for everybody.
Yeah, Tony, you were gonna say something else?
No. I think it's like keeping your expectations in check. Like if you're thinking like some vast story with a plot, and you understand everything about the characters, and you're probably not going to get that. This ain't exactly. But this is definitely, like I said, 100% is what you make of it and how it pertains to you and the choices you make and how you interpret the meanings of the things that are happening.
Yeah, and this will stick with you, right? Like how many AAA games have we played that are filled with loot boxes, DLC, whatever it may be, just grinding, and then I've literally forgot some of the games I played before, right? And this game, this 90-minute game will stick with me in a way that's much more impactful. And so I think that's something that always needs to be part of this conversation, that to what Amar was saying earlier, if you're looking at these kind of like appliances and how much fun you're getting per hour, then you probably need to check yourself a bit. And you know what? Maybe you need to play this game just like straight up and ask yourself some questions, and then
I think it sticks with. I think it definitely sticks with us because, like I said, it's the entire story is you. You made the decisions. You interpret how you interpret things on your head. Not you, but we expanded the story. So definitely this game sticks with the player a lot more than something that was just sort of spilled out for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I just want to say it's also something that you will not get from other medias and maybe other games.
Yes.
Telling narrative from this perspective in a both interactive and I guess somewhat passive in a way is not something that you will get anywhere else. So that's what makes this game worth it in my opinion. So
absolutely.
Even though I'm probably the least liked person, the person who liked this game the least, I still think it's totally worth it.
Yeah, totally agree. Shout out to the idea that not every game has to have like a bar of interactivity. We're totally down for art, however it may come in whatever shape or form, as long as it's trying to speak some sort of authenticity to the table. So appreciate that. A couple big things, or a couple chat things here. Prodigy the Prince saying waves. Is that a reference to the? Oh, you're waving. Here is my dad person mentality. I thought he was talking about the waves in the game. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, folks. He said, "Yeah, I didn't expect it to be funny. I thought it was going to be depressing. LOL." Yeah, I feel you on that, Prodigy. It was quite an interesting experience for sure. Yeah, Amar with the octopus here. Love it. Awesome. Well, can we get to, you guys mind if we jump to the trailers for next week? Are we still okay on time? I know we're going way over the normal time. Appreciate
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Sweet, thank you.
I just gotta drink some coffee later on. I'm good.
we're not holding you from doing some late night work.
The bedtime.
Say your bedtime.
Yeah, your bedtime was 1 minute ago.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Tony.
I'm a trooper tonight.
We got you for 15 more minutes. You're staying up till 10 tonight, Tony. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Oh
Big
yeah. Things are about to get crazy. All right, 9:31 here Eastern Standard Time. Let's go over to our games for next week. The first game we are going to look at is called Rivals. This is the sequel to the game Family. I hesitate to say sequel because originally the designer, I interviewed him. I think it was like an exclusive interview when he was talking about this. It was like one of the first interviews where he talked about this. And at first he said, it is not a sequel, it's a companion game. And then all his marketing suddenly said sequel to Family. So shout out to Tim Scheidman. Really appreciate it. We were kind of one of the first kind of groups to cover the game early on. He really appreciates that and sent us some Steam keys so we can play it next week. So shout out to him. We will be playing it the day it is released. If you all are familiar with our show and watched it, you know I'm an absolute fan of Family. Amar, I know you're a huge fan as well. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. So without further ado, this is Rivals from Tim Scheidman. So that, everyone, was the trailer for the newest game from Tim Scheidman. It's called Rivals. It's actually set in North Carolina as well. So that is really cool. At least partly set in North Carolina. You can kind of tell some of the kind of the musical stylings as well. So just to give a bit of a description here, this does follow in the same style as Family. So we're talking about kind of a detective game of sorts, but it's not a criminal game. There's no crime. It's just kind of piecing the story together. You can also see that shout out to Lucas Pope, the designer of Return of the Obra Dinn, Papers, Please, an amazing designer who also threw a quote in at the beginning here. So, Spokey, I know you have not played Family before, but what do you make of this trailer? Is this something that intrigues you? What are you thinking here?
I am curious. I'm not gonna lie. I like puzzles. It's kind of a secret, not so secret favorite category of mine. So to be able to kind of go through stuff and like it said, rewind the cassettes and look at things, and I get good music in the process.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I'm curious. I'm definitely curious.
Love it. Amar, how about you? I know you were a big fan of Family.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that it's also going to be set in, the US, I guess. I'm wondering how what references will be in there, and if we can probably maybe relate more. I wonder if this will do even better because of the fact that it's in the US and it will have a bigger market. Actually, I want to say I actually was listening to other gaming podcasts and they started mentioning Family too, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Michael's game. He talked about it. So I feel like there's traction there between game developers and now actually kind of catching on. So I feel like this one will be even bigger. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward for all the music as well.
Yeah, we should say the music in Family and in this, by the sound of it, is awesome. And we should also say that Tim Scheinman not only did the programming and art, but he did the music as well, in terms of what do you call it? Constructing like all the music. He had some friends that he brought in to do the singing and other pieces of it, but he arranged, I think is the best way to do it, say it. So yeah, just to give a little bit of background here, Rivals is a unique kind of detective game. It follows the lives and careers of two musicians, Josh Moore and Luke Johnson, over 15 years as they progress in the alt country scene. The game combines written, audio, visual, and metagame puzzles to create an enthralling and moving experience. It plays for roughly 2 to 3 hours, including an extensive post-main game experience. And it is going to sell for $5.99 on itch.io or itch.io, depending on how you like to pronounce it. I know there's different schools of thought there. And it's going to be on Steam as well. Layla, I know I remember having fun playing this game with you in real time over Twitch, where you were on your I guess infamous like 6-hour binge streams, and it was in the wee hours of the morning, which are probably not the ideal time to play like a mind crunching game like this. So I know you were
This will be the first one that I play.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about Rivals? What are you thinking?
The first one. So I'm excited to try it again, especially since I did play Family. Now I kind of know how things work, so I'm kind of not having to do the trying to figure things out since I've already played.
Yeah.
But now I'm excited to go in and play with that knowledge and try to really be able to figure those things out. And it will be the first one that I play tomorrow. So
Love it.
I'm not going to wait till real early in the morning to try to use my brain.
Actually, you know what? You reminded me. I need to hit him up and just make sure. I'm assuming you can play it tomorrow. I guess it officially doesn't release till Monday, but thanks for reminding me about that. I'll check with Tim tonight. He is over in the UK, so there's a time difference. But I'll hit him up and find out. Tony, what are your final thoughts on this before we move to the next trailer?
So definitely look forward to playing this game. I actually did not play Family, and it doesn't look like it's a direct sequel. It looks like I can sort of pick up from this. Is that?
Yeah, you don't have to play Family at all. Totally different stories.
All right, cool.
The same like gameplay mechanics overall, but story-wise, 100% difference.
Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait to pick this up and take a look at it. I don't know why this keeps reminding me of like a mystery puzzle game, like a very mystery heavy game.
Yeah, it very much is that, outside of like the true crime aspects, which is very appealing to me. Like the whole idea is, we can do detective without having a dead body in the forest, right? Like there's more to it than that. Thank you, Amar, for saying check out Family. Johnny on Twitch saying I saw the music release posters and my pain for a music scene at the moment is showing. I feel you on that. Shout out to the music scene. We want to make sure we can keep that alive throughout COVID for sure. All right, the next trailer, we have 3 games lined up for next week. So that was our first game, Rivals. The next game is going to be Micro Mages, which I have a feeling Tony's going to really like. So let's show you all Micro Mages.
Oh, yeah.
So we should say that the game is actually out. I know it says the Kickstarter stuff right there, but the game is out right here. I see the kid Marley saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have to get this and stream it." Folks saying, reminding me of Mega Man.
Yeah,
Multiplayer. This looks amazing. A lot of good comments. People seem to be vibing with this. 40 kilobytes, folks. You all remember them days when you're talking about KBs? Like, yo, we're talking small files right here. We're talking floppy disk territory.
Floppy disk.
Floppy disk territory. So, Tony, I know you are a major retro gamer, so I want to start with you here. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna dust out. I have a USB NES controller.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and use that for that. One thing I didn't see, so I already knew this game and then the game after. I'm like, yo, I'm definitely down for it. This I didn't see it until the second time around that there's like a 4-player multiplayer.
Yes.
Well, that's just very interesting. So I definitely want to see how I can jump into something like that. But other than that, yeah, man, it seems like someone mentioned a Mega Man style game.
Yeah.
Sort of reminds me of like a Metrovania. Do I have that correct, or did I get that wrong?
I don't know if it may be. I actually, I think this isn't a Metroidvania necessarily. I think it's more of a platformer traditionally, only because a key characteristic of Metroidvania is like rediscovering prior areas that you had access to,
going backwards
with new powers and things of that nature. So I think this doesn't necessarily fit the bill, but it definitely looks and feels in that way for sure.
Yeah, super excited for it.
Yeah, no, this looks really cool. Layla, I know earlier in the show you talked about you wanting to have like the deluxe editions of stuff like this. Would this be something you'd want to get your hands on, like the actual NES cartridge and the manual and all that good stuff?
Probably. I'd probably just buy it. Just really cute, and I definitely am excited to play it. It kind of gave me like, I don't know, one of the games that I played recently was Celeste.
Yes.
So I was like, I definitely want to play this one, and I can play with my friends. Excuse me. Yes, I definitely want to play.
Yeah, no, good point. It definitely has, shout out to Celeste designer Matt Thorson, who also did Towerfall. It definitely has the color palette and vibes to it. So yeah, good reference there. Spokey, how about you? You feeling this?
Yes and no.
Let's hear it.
Hot take, I guess.
I love it.
It looks fun. I can't help but think about trying to play this with Mars, Mitsu, and Eugen, and just the strain on the friendship trying to get through a level together.
Yeah.
Like, it looks fun, but I don't know. I'm hesitant. The 40 kilobytes is impressive. If that's really the file size for the entire game, just looking at the sheer amount of stuff in it, that's super impressive.
Absolutely.
But I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence, to say the least.
I will say one way out of that potential friendship relationship destroying situation is I think it's local multiplayer only, if I'm not mistaken. So
that doesn't much because all my co-hosts live here. We're all
okay.
Like a 3-mile radius of each other.
Okay, well, I did not know that. I hear you guys all talking and everything. Okay, well, then that doesn't change things. So let the relationship destruction begin. Brought to you by Indie Game Club.
But it looks like they are helping each other.
I think so.
I didn't dig much. Yeah, I feel like if it's almost like the Mario style, where like if one person is maybe alive. I'm not sure if it's how it works. I mean, it's also possible that there's like friendly fire, so it can go both ways.
There was that part in the trailer where the characters like flipped positions that kind of had me thinking to what Spokey's point was there. So we have actually Johnny reporting from 20XX CLT saying LOL memories of throwing friends off the cliffs in Mario. That's Spokey. He was talking to you about that one.
I can hear the cursing in my head right now, like audibly. I can.
Yes, I totally hear you on that. Tony's saying
I'll watch that stream then.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know about that.
Definitely.
Sure, let us know about that. Wondering if it'll run on an NES emulator. It will. It's the download actually includes an NES ROM that's playable on a variety of platforms via emulation. So that is there. So for all you youngins and OGs out there, you can You could play like Daddy Z over here did it back in the day, and play the old school ways.
multiplayer. Sorry.
No, go for it,
Man.
please, Layla. Take us back to sanity.
I'm the wrong person to be in charge of that. But it reminds me, the multiplayer aspect reminds me of Zelda Four Swords was one of my favorite games to play with friends.
Yes.
In this aspect. So I'm very curious. Thankfully, the people that I usually play with are very calm, and I'm the one who freaks out. Rican's very understanding all the time. So like he's always like, Layla, where are you going? You're going the wrong way. I'm like, oh, okay. So I get to play with some very patient people.
That's
so I think that we'll have a lot of fun trying to play this.
That's good. Yeah, I totally hear you on that. We have the Kid Marley saying this game is remote play together, so it would work for online co-op. Shout out to Remote Play Together. Awesome feature on Steam. Thank you, Kid Marley, for mentioning that. Which you said you also meant to say it on Steam for sure, and apparently Mac users as well. Amar, last word on this game. What are your thoughts? How much are you?
I really hope it works on multiplayer, because while it looks like it's a fun game, I feel like it just makes me miss like like the Potion and Pixels days of like being in the same place with like three other people around you and just like trying to like plan everything together. This looks fun. It looks like it brought in a lot of the old NES games that I played while I was a little child. So I'll definitely give it a try just for the nostalgia that I didn't really have for this game because it didn't exist. But I'm sure it will give me some of those feels.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. It's shout out to the old Potions and Pixels events that we used to have, the big ones where we could get a few hundred people out and play local multiplayer games. This was totally our thing. So I'm glad we're able to talk about more multiplayer focused games, because that was the roots of Potions and Pixels, was getting people of all walks of life together, to pick up a controller and spark a conversation. Cool. Well, that was Micro Mages. And for our final trailer of the night, we have a game called an airport game. That is the name of the game. It's called an airport game. So, yeah, here you go. So that, everyone, was an airport game. Just to give a bit of a description here for that. An airport game. In this top-down RPG, your objective is to make your flight on time. You've got an hour to check a bag, get through TSA, and make it to your gate before your flight leaves. But be ready, because every possible fear you've ever had about air travel is about to happen to you. And according to How Long to Beat, it said this game is about a 30-minute long experience. Oh. I'm intrigued about this one. Yeah,
is this before or after? Is this before or after COVID?
Oh, I'm pretty safe to say almost every game we've played has been before COVID, except A New Life, if you all remember that game. Yeah, that was like hard references to like stuff that was COVID. That was like, either they predicted it like Nostradamus style, whatever, or it was, developed during that time. Panel, what is our thoughts on an airport game?
I'm just going to say...
Go ahead, Layla.
I'm just going to say, me personally, I have been recently trying to overcome my fear of flying. So... I'm a little scared to play this. My first flight, actually, I went to Atlanta for a little bit, and I actually missed my flight
Oh, no.
when I went. So I was in standby forever. So whenever it popped up, don't miss your flight, I was like, ooh, I don't think I'm gonna be good at this. But I've been wanting to fly and travel a lot more. So it might be good for me, but I'm kind of scared to play. I don't want to know what could go wrong.
Yeah, a lot seems like it go wrong. Like it says what was like an item. There was a scene where you could check in something, or it had like a gun as part of it, or something. Like, yeah. Let's make sure this is not. You do not use this as like a documentary game. Let's be clear about this. This is a fictional game, folks. Potions and Pixels cannot be afford to be sued. we ain't got no money. Amar, what do you think about this?
So I also have a fear that relates to airport. It's not the flight, like being in the plane part. It's the missing the flight. And so I always end up, arriving like 2 hours earlier, and like then you also add the TSA line, and then the whole fear of, I don't know, whatever shows up in the TSA line that you forgot, and getting yelled at for having a bottle of water that you forgot. Airports scare me, man. So this is totally a horror game. I know it's all that, but it's anything related to airports, including the food, is considered horror for me. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna give it a try. This sounds like I want to see what they try, because there was that movie with Tom Hanks or whoever it was, which was a total.
The terminal.
Yeah, it was totally not my experience of the airport. Like when he went and got stuck in the airport. Yeah, Tom Hanks doesn't get pulled over into like a different checkout line of the TSA. So sorry, but but no, I want to check this out. I want to see what it's like to be in an airport. I guess again now with COVID. So
I feel you on that. And the Kid Marley is saying here, tell Spokes that I'm still trying to make her cry on stream. I got a few sad boy indie games under my belt for her. Is this Layla and Amar said they're scared. This could be a horror game for them. Is this the one that's going to make you cry, Spoke?
No, not at all. Challenge accepted, bro. I saw you have 1 hour to catch your flight, and I was like, yes, I'm playing this. I want to see how much. First of all, I want to see if I can do it. Yeah. Second of all, I want to see how much chaos I can possibly ensue in this digital airport, just because that's just me. That's how it is. So this isn't what I don't know what the obsession is with wanting my fans wanting me to cry like a baby on stream, but this isn't going to be the one, Marley.
Is that something you do not do on stream? Is that the idea? Where did that come from? That
I don't know. They like watching me be scared, and they like watching me. I guess they want to see what I look like when I cry. You got me, but this one isn't gonna do it. Not at all.
But
this looks like
for it.
This has my name written all over it. I'm gonna play this because it looks fun as all get out.
Love it. Tony, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, so this one, it seems like a really innovative RPG. I mean, that's just, it sounds like a completely different concept. The idea of trying to be at an airport and navigate that situation, and the fact that you're turning it into an RPG, or they turned it into an RPG, should be interesting. Definitely this game would be something I look forward to playing.
Yeah. I'm super excited about it. I mean, one of the most fun things about Indie Game Club as well is obviously part of this is arranging and scheduling the games and guests ahead of time to kind of match it all together, but part of it is just not knowing what the experience is going to be. I'm kind of going just based off the trailer and some basic reviews without digging in too deep. So I love the idea of not knowing what's going to come next. So yeah, I am super, super excited about this one. Layla and Amar were...
Horror is coming next. There's only horror in the airport. There's no enjoyment. Oh, there's only one happy ending, and that's when you are sitting on the chair and you ask the person next to you to make sure that you're on the right plane, and they say yes. That's the only good ending to this game.
The airport's an adventure for me.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not scared. You gotta focus. It's like its own real life mini game. You gotta.
So,
I agree.
Dodge the randomly screened PSA pat down.
I'm hyped. It's lit. There, I said it.
It's lit, fam. All right, here we go.
It's lit.
We didn't
the
dab
Atlanta
yet,
airport
Layla.
is an adventure for me.
Weren't we gonna dab? What was? I don't know. There we go. We're doing
I
it.
dab all
Amar,
the time.
Tony, come on now. You're not
First
too
the
cool for
grill,
us, are you?
now
Yeah.
dabbing. Oh my god.
There we go. This is going to be the new image of in your game club.
Yeah, I need my sunglasses.
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
gonna lie. I literally take shots before I get on the plane. It's that bad. I'm like, all
Oh,
right,
man.
time to take a shot. Like, I went to Fridays. I was like, can I get a Jameson, please? And a pickleback. I took a shot.
I just knocked out. Love it. So it sounds like we got some good vibes for next week's show. Thank you all for reviewing that stuff. Thank you all for sticking around so long. Can everybody clap it up for our amazing guests? Seriously. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. And, oh, what was that? Oh, okay. Courtney wanted to say hello real quick, and at least just say goodbye to everybody. So, Courtney, we got you, girl. You're covered right here on Potions and Pixels. So Courtney's back with us. She just wanted to wave goodbye to everyone.
I just wanted to say this was an amazing opportunity. All these guests are magnificent. Make sure you go follow them on social media and definitely follow Potions and Pixels on Twitch and Facebook. This is amazing. I really, really hope I can come back next time. Thank you so much, everybody, for having me.
I almost spit out while you were doing that. I'm glad that didn't happen because of us being live and somebody clipping that. Yeah, the fun of that. Amar,
a good voice.
Amar having the cell phone with Spokey's voice.
We were here on that one.
I love it. We're gonna
Thanks.
we're gonna have to record those specific lines for Courtney in the future. Shout out to your girl Courtney, American girl. You're doing your thing. American girl, you're doing it. You're doing it, American girl. I love it.
Such an opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, to what Spokey said right there, I want to make sure that you're following all of these wonderful people. Of course, I will share on social media. I'm going to try to get that out tomorrow. I've been a little late on trying to keep up with this ship here. But can each of you, when we do our little outro, tell us where we can find you and subscribe? You know, was it smash that bell? Did we say that? Is that how the kids say it these days?
Smash the bell.
Smash the bell.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Spokey, let's start off with you. How can folks get connected to you in your world?
It's actually really easy to find me. All of my live streams are on Facebook, and everything else as far as social media is uniform. SPOKIDOKES. You type that into Google, you will get my website, my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, my Twitch, my Twitter, and I think that's it.
I love it.
It's all uniform. So yeah, Facebook for the streams twice a week, 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And everywhere else, yeah, Spokey Dokes.
And can you give the audience a bit of an idea of like what your streams are like?
Bring a seatbelt and possibly a safety cushion. They're very adult. I try to make it very clear that for the most part we are talking about current events and the world and culture on Wednesdays. One of the things that I like to hammer home with that is not only a disclaimer because we can get really, really inappropriate, but it is a platform to speak your opinion safely and openly, even if it goes against the grain of what everybody else thinks. So that's Wednesdays. It's a lot of fun. I've got 3 co-hosts, Mars, Mitsumi, and Eugen, who also have platforms, but I won't get into that because it'll take forever. And then Sundays, I pick a game. And I sit down with my chat and we just kind of hang out and game and talk about any and all manner of things. It's kind of game focused. I'll pick a lot of indie games a lot of the times. That like I said, the last couple weeks it's been Final Fantasy 14, but this airport game, yeah, that's definitely going to be a thing. That's absolutely